Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the ways of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law do we meditate day and night. For we shall be like trees planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth fruit in our season. Our leaves shall not wither. Whatsoever we do shall prosper. Call up, call up, call up. Call up some people because the Colin Bell Show, this is the first Monday edition of the Colin Bell Show. We intend to be on every Monday. Yeah, man. That is our intention. That will be on every Monday. But this Monday, even so much more ideal because we are dealing with a tropical storm right now. In a couple of hours, we'll be dealing with a hurricane, a Cat 5 to that. So we have problem. We have problem. We have serious problem, people. Serious problem. And we have to highlight them, because this is Portland Spice TV. And we have to highlight what is happening. We also have to give information and make sure that we keep our people up to date. Yeah. So we have to be here for you once we can be here. And we have to also be that source of connection. So if you are in the diaspora and you don't have connection, we will try our best to be that center that holds everything together. Yeah, man. And we want to do that. What you saying to me? Don't know what this is saying. No internet connection. We do have internet connection. What are you talking about? Let's refresh this machine over here. So. But there are so many things that we have a touch on this evening. So many things. And first, we want to give you an update of the storm that we have. And we also, this evening, we're opening the phone lines to all and sundry who wants to call, tell us what is happening in your neck of the woods, give you some information. We were out on the road earlier today. Yeah, man, we touch the road today. Myself and the producer touch the road. See what I go on. It was a good outing. Portland is pretty quiet at this time. Pretty quiet. And we give God thanks and ask him for his protection going forward. Yeah, man, we wish that everybody just stay safe. If you don't have to be out there, don't out there. We took a risk to go out there and get some information for you, which we showed earlier. We had a live driving through the town of Port Antonio. We weren't able to do much out on the east because of the weather. Water out the constant water out there, may I tell you. So we were out there just checking on everybody, checking on what is happening. Yep. So let's see this video, this clip here we have. Fox.
This forecast to grow. So that's this afternoon. So we just have the gusty winds, but the heavy rain over the terrain today, or by this afternoon. Then we get it tonight, and the storm moves forward, And now overnight tonight, when it says 2 a.m. there, it means nominally 2 a.m. Eastern time. That would be 1 a.m. in Jamaica. And there you see the hurricane force winds. So the strongest winds are probably right in there. And it's approaching the coast. So now that the forecast is up into here somewhere, obviously Kingston is a bit on the fringe, but watch what happens here. Now let's go up to landfall. Forecast on the current schedule about 7 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. local time there. And there you see the extent of the hurricane force winds, hurricane force gusts right to the Kingston metropolitan area, but of course torrential rain. This is when the most intense rain is going to fall over these mountains all at once, and then all coming downhill in some direction or the other. You see Mandeville. Mandeville is, if you take all of metropolitan Kingston as one city, there's actually 3 cities involved there. Mandeville is about the 3rd biggest city in Jamaica. And it's not at the coast, it's inland, but all along the coast here are coastal communities and beach communities and so forth. But Mandeville is going to get very hard hit, it looks like, heading up. Remember, the worst side of the storm is on this side of the storm, heading up toward Ocho Rios. Ocho Rios is right in it. And this is going to be tomorrow afternoon, mid.
So we're looking at some of the footage that we got today. The number is 876-804-7072. You can call me straight. You can call me on WhatsApp. Let me know what is happening in your area. In the backdrop, you're looking at some of the footage that we did today. Yeah. You know, going through Port Antonio, looking at the hip strip right now. Yeah. So that's some of what we did today. Should get the list of Melissa. We give God thanks for that. Hope it's not too much still, because based on the amount of rain what we are here, so we are going to get, it's still going to be a lot. 30 inches worth of rain, 3 feet worth of rain, a whole heap of rain in a day. And we have seen where that has been devastated to Port Antonio before. A couple years ago, there was more than a bit, but that was about early 2000. And the whole of Boundbrook flood out. There's a question, people, where I want to get to Mr. Vaz, MP for West Portland. I am a bit concerned about a place called Swift River. And that same flood that I'm talking about, that mash up back road on a Boundbrook. Anybody will know Port Antonio? Run a Boundbrook, it flood out. Whole heap of place at Port Antonio. Flood out. Water going through people window. That's how high the water got in Port Antonio back in that flood. Swift River was flooded. I think P.J. Patterson was Prime Minister. Yeah, man. Swift River was flooded out. The whole of the community of Swift River. So, anybody hear this, get to Mr. Vaz, find out what is happening for the people of Swift River. Because with that amount of rain we are here about, Swift River itself, I see as a big problem. And I see Mr. Vaz out there working for the national level, but we want to hear about Swift River, which is in your constituency, sir. I don't know who's the councillor for that area. I don't hear nothing from them. Let's see if we can make some calls with the councillors and hear what the plans are. Because Mr. Vaz out there, the national duties, the councillor should be front and center on these things. We could see if we can hear nothing from them, no? So we're still looking at the East Harbour. From Folly come right round, we come right round the East Harbour. And that's why I'm telling you, the development of this harbour is critical. It can accommodate any size ship in this harbour here. And it's safe. See a kick up out there, you know. But you never see it in the harbour. And might just take you around to the marina. You want any comments you want to tell us, Madam Producer? Yeah. Well, St. Elizabeth. St. Elizabeth? What's it raining in St. Elizabeth? Oh. Yeah, man. So you can tell us what is happening in your neck of the woods. This is Port Antonio. Show them the street. Go straight. Well, them know it's a rain a fall, so the wiper have to run.
But you don't like to do something, no sense.
The wiper have to run. It's raining. You can't even not run the wiper. Rain out cover it up. So we're going through the town of Port Antonio. We'll go over the west, over the marina.
What is happening? Why so much vehicle in the town?
Yeah, the town full of vehicles. I don't know if emergency workers then we have to be out.
All supermarkets are open.
Yeah. Everywhere. Everywhere. And the homeless people, they are still on the street. Madam Producer, I can go around here, sir. And look upon them still on the street. What is being done to get these homeless people off of the street?
There's a house that is built for them.
Yeah, but see them here, sir. Why nobody now get them off of the street?
You lady across here.
Hey! Why you not go to my shelter? You not go to my shelter?
She not talk. She upset. She called to you first before you ask her. I guess you don't want to go down there.
No, but yeah, them stubborn like that, you know. We have to remember that, you know. Can't just blame the authorities. And that are them place to them there. Zoom, you can't zoom them up. No zoom? You want to see them there? Watching. Take him. Come here.
If you take up money for you.
Yeah, man, I give money for man. But why you wind up on the shelter? Come on, daddy. Why you not going to my shelter?
No, go down there.
Where now wait, pan?
Wait till this time come.
No, man, go now, man.
I have a minute.
What's the next one then? You go down my shelter now, man. No, we don't need to go down there. You might beat down my window. One!
Even don't give me my full money.
Why you not going to my shelter? No, we have to go down there.
Yeah.
Go on down there now.
Yeah. Which one that?
Down a fire brigade.
No, see money about the check for.
Yeah, man. Then we not give you fear already, man. Down a fire brigade place, so go down there.
Yeah.
Make
no,
sure the money that for you $1 million there, you know. All right.
We not go down a place now.
So check for and next week then come go and next week me go get me injection and next week me get.
Yeah, but go down at the shelter now. Come off of the road now. Yeah. So that is it. That is it. We have the street people still on the road in Port Antonio. We are trying to get in touch with some of the authorities. I hear that we're going to talk to the MP for East Portland in a little while. Trying to just touch base with some people this evening, find out what is happening in their area, and bring you some updates right here on Portland Spice TV. You know what is happening. We are on Hurricane Watch. And they are saying that Melissa is coming to Jamaica. So we just drive through Port Antonio a while ago, round the East Harbour, and we are going to take a look around the West Harbour now. So let me take that call, yeah. Let me take a call, my peeps. Let me take a call. Shower, man.
Oh, the boss.
What go on, brother?
Oh, you're on the rain under the bridge.
Brother, it done, yeah, you know. But it's not so bad.
Yeah.
Because just like your situation in Kingston, I think we are close. I think you're a little closer to it than we, but we're still worried about what is going to happen on the other side of the island. And we hope that...
I watched on TikTok a while ago, but I said the river. What the river down there?
Black River?
No, it got one different name, right? In East Portland.
Oh, in East Portland, you talk Rio Grande?
Right.
I'm a Rio Grande in a pinker farm from yesterday, you know.
The man, the see on TikTok where the river come down all and up under the bridge.
Yeah, man, and What they are saying is that we don't get the rain yet. What happen when the rain come?
No, later the rain come to a morning, you know.
Yes, that's what they're saying. So
Yeah, so I'm saying, me a link you.
yes, man. Respect for that, man. We have to open our eyes and look out, you know.
Yeah,
And
man.
if we know,
good,
so we live in
man.
an
Good.
area that are flood prone, we need to move. People live on the landslide, but you know, we have to be careful. But give thanks,
Yeah, you
shower
see
man. Bless up yourself. Oh, you stay over there?
You see them save you, God.
Yeah.
We enter the from the big the gully they were run from up at Kansas Spring come down there.
Sandy Gully.
Sandy Gully flood out Sylvia, you know, brother.
Right now?
Oh, yeah, man, if you see on TikTok, me I tell them, man, wicked.
Oh, yeah, I say. But if CDU flood out already, it don't look good, shower man.
It don't look good. And then the 5 days now we tractor clean the gully. Because I remember I say, a PS son and 3 did it and the gully they didn't clean it all long, you know.
You see that shower man, how long them not clean
and
that?
I just couple days then start to clean it and them not do no push. They want to clean and the bridge as the bridge fuck up. For the bridge collapse, you see it.
But shower man, you see when we always have said to you, say, the man them not deal with the infrastructure, the thing not deal with right. Sandy Gully shouldn't stay so.
Yeah, because even from where the people my boss at the Sandy Gully want clean and them just a do it. Two star.
Yeah, man, the man them need to do no work, shower man. Me tell you no all the while, but you know think of politics me attack. The infrastructure have to deal with, you know.
Yeah.
The infrastructure have to deal with Rasta. That right now, we should have us basically maybe even just go look through it and see that it's all right. Because drains must also be maintained the way you maintain road, you know.
Yeah.
Because with climate change
because
now.
Because maintain the drain carry the water, you know.
Exactly.
Mm.
So it is a disaster.
This rain have a 3 days, you know, my boss. A 3 days with a rain, you know.
So this is a disaster that the government contribute to.
Jesus God, when this are done, man, the government are going to spend, we don't know they're going to manage.
Why, it's rough, councillor.
But you let me know what's going down there, you know.
All right, my brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we're there on the alert.
All right.
Cool. We have a scheduled chat with Councillor Dexter Rowland. I want to get him on the phone right now. Marshy!
What go on, Colin?
Where are you, man?
Me there, you know, me there, watch and listen.
Hold on, Councillor. Marshy!
Yes. Me have one question for you.
Go right ahead.
And tell me, you hear any of the JLP MP or any of the JLP councillor, they are complaining that they don't get any money?
No.
Or they don't have enough money to clean any drain?
Me no hear them.
So tell me something. Are they getting money under the quiet?
Well, it is possible, you know. Hold on, Marsh. Councillor Rowland, just hold a sec for me, please, and thanks.
No problem.
Hold 1 sec, Councillor Rowland. Marshy.
Yeah.
You hear Desmond McKenzie talk about the emergency fund that the parish council have, right?
Yes, me hear that rubbish there. NPM needs to come clean up their rubbish.
No, it's not rubbish. They have the money. The councils have the money. It's not rubbish. The councils have that money can spend in an emergency. But also, what Desmond never tell you, what Desmond McKenzie never tell nobody, is that him have some money too. Him have a thing called the equalization fund.
Yes.
That he can give to whichever parish council him want to.
Yes.
But Marshy, I'm going to beg you call me back. I have a scheduled interview with the councillor for Port Antonio Division.
Dexter Rowland?
Yes, sir.
Give him a shout for me, man.
All right, cool.
All right.
Councillor Rowland, good evening.
Good evening.
My brother Marshy said to shout you up.
Oh, shout him out back to me now.
Blessings, man. Councillor Dexter Rowland is the longest continuous serving councillor in Jamaica. Councillor Rowland is the counselor for the Port Antonio division. This is a division that from time to time, when we have torrential rain, we get flooding. Councillor Roland, how prepared are we this time around in the Port Antonio division?
Well, as a new MP, I think that trying his best. But the problem I have is that the government who is in power should have got a lot of things ready before now.
Yes.
They have experienced threats like this, storm threats like these, and this threat has been other than from maybe about over 2 weeks now. So the experience that they have, they have put things in place immediately. But it was like it's a few days before they came to announce it and announce that, which is wrong. They should have put things in place from before hurricane season started, and the civil servants would know what to do. But this current has done everything just at the last minute. So the drain thing, you got the okay maybe about 2 days ago, which was not long enough to get everything going. And the assistance for the shelters, no mattress, food stuff coming late and not on time.
Mm-hmm.
So as a politician now, you have to get involved personally, trying to assist people out of the doldrums that they are facing.
Minister Desmond McKenzie said the parish councils have money that what you call it, that fund. Hold on. All right, Councillor Roland.
Yes.
I don't know. You don't mind I join the MP to this call?
I didn't get that.
You don't mind I join the MP to the call?
No problem.
Right. So Desmond McKenzie was saying that the parish councils have money. What you say about that?
Yeah, there's a fund called it Special Grant.
I have Dexter on the line. Yeah, man. Go ahead. Continue, Dexter.
Yes, there's a fund called it Special Grant for repair.
Yeah.
But it has to be approved from the ministry, and you have to send the estimate, and it has to be signed up in Portland, to start for Portland, then it has to be sent to Kingston, then you get a written approval from the ministry. But it's not although the money is there, it is not something that you can use without the direct approval of the ministry and the permanent secretary, of the minister and the permanent secretary.
But the minister is saying something different, Councillor Roland. Let me welcome to the program the new member of parliament for Eastern Portland, Comrade Isaac Buchanan. MP, good evening.
Evening, Colin.
How are you doing?
Evening to your listeners and viewers.
I saw a TikTok video with some little, and I don't, let me use no adjective. I saw a video on TikTok with somebody asking for Isaac Buchanan. Well, here is Isaac Buchanan. Anybody want Isaac Buchanan? MP, what is happening in your constituency with the rain so far?
Well, from Manchineal to right back to Port Antonio, it is raining currently. Visited shelters. Would have hoped that central government would have actually brought the mattresses and the things for sleeping, as well as food supplies, but that's not forthcoming. So having to try to fill the gap in the meantime. Saw Dexter, saw Wayne. I think I saw you a few minutes ago, a couple of hours ago probably. So we're out here, myself and the team, just trying to do what we can in the meantime. And waiting for the storm. If Melissa decides to finish her nails and get here, we are trying to do. She's a young girl, so we have to be patient.
She hot.
But
so she have to do
she hot.
She have to do up herself before she enter. But
that is so. But Colin, I just want to say we don't really pay attention to the social media bots that earn a living by spreading propaganda.
Yes.
Some of them can't help themselves. There are 63 constituencies, both PNP, JLP. When there's a disaster, when there's a storm, when there's a national crisis, I don't see how people see politics. So we just have to do our best to ensure that we assist the people as best as we can and brace ourselves for whatever the impact is. How we respond, that's what we are here for.
Exactly. You said you visit a few shelters. How much shelters you talking about?
I just what we did 6 just now.
What?
And I'm on my lunch break right now, but I went to Comfrey, went to Mansion Hill, two shelters in Mansion Hill. I just went right here in Fellowship. Not Fellowship, sorry.
Port Antonio.
Yeah, Goodwill, yes. It's in Prospect side.
So
I went to the boys' home. It's not a shelter, but went to the boys' home and just ensuring that the young men are okay.
And the people have everything that they need, Isaac?
They don't have everything that they need, but we do what we can with whatever resources that we have. I do understand from my briefing earlier today with party leader, did get some advice as to who is responsible for doing what. And so far, between the ministry, the local government, and Ministry of Social Security, who provide certain things, that's not happening. But I do understand that the information has to be communicated. So I'm tallying the numbers and ensuring that the information is given to them so that they know who is at the shelters, how many persons, and then we take it from there. I did provide bed linen and pampers and food and sheets and all of that. But even then, that won't be enough for what is going to happen. And I'm just kind of bit taken aback that beautiful drop-off center is not operational as I thought it would have been.
Well.
And so just ensuring, yes.
Councillor Roland is also on the call. Councillor Roland, tell us what is happening from the council standpoint, from the MP standpoint, central government. What is happening from the council standpoint as it relates to these shelters, Comrade Roland? Comrade Roland? Comrade Roland?
Yes.
Yeah, man, I'm asking you what is happening from the council standpoint. You heard the MP a while ago said some of the things that they are doing, they are trying to assist. What is the council's role and what is happening in your neck of the woods? I know that you also have a shelter open. The Port Antonio High School is open. I think the Boundbrook Infant. Tell us what is happening in your neck of the woods.
Well, I visited all the centers. Port Antonio, well, not all. There are 2 in San Antonio I didn't visit yet. But I visited Snow Hill, Norwich, Boundbrook. And but most of the cases, got some food from the Ministry of Labor. Yesterday, most of the places are without food. And most of them are without mattress or things like that. It's a little struggling thing. The MP I know has tried coming with a thing.
But isn't the council, the parish council responsible for some of this, Councillor Roland?
I didn't get that.
The parish council, isn't it that the parish council is responsible for stuff like bedding and them kind of thing there?
Yes, but the fact is they didn't get all these things from the ministry soon enough. That is the big problem. So, although they are overlooking all the shelters in the parish, but they didn't get support from the ministry quick enough for them to do this and do that. So they have to be struggling bit by bit with what they have. That's the big problem. And even with the drain cleaning, although the HCR is there, we can't use it without written okay from the ministry.
But isn't that money that the mayor can sign off on, Councillor Roland?
How do you get that?
the GR, what is it?
The SGR.
SGR, the SGR. Isn't that a fund that the mayor with a resolution in the council can sign off on?
Well, if it's an emergency,
which we
he
have
can
now.
do that. Yes, right now.
So why the council didn't use much more of that to clean some of the critical drains?
I didn't get that.
Why didn't the council use some more of that money to clean some of the critical drains?
Well, I have to find out that because I was trying to get to him. I couldn't get to. I couldn't get to him. I don't know the exact thing. I know that there's some little drains being done in the town, but not with the starter float. That float thing that we need.
I know the MP is trying to do some drains. MP, about how many drains have you done in the town?
I will say this, all the drains that you see being done right now, it is what we would have gotten from central government, the allocation that was given to me, and with the assistance of certainly my two councils, we would have gotten it. We would have completed it. It's a lot of them, and there's so many more that needs to be done. I don't think it would do me any good to say, oh, I did this, because all I'm gonna hear is you miss critical ones. And
because I was just about to tell you about one by Folly, out of Folly Road.
Yeah, man. I'm glad that you said that because they were just cleaning the Folly one just now.
Okay, so, beautiful.
Yeah, right by Ramtula.
Yeah.
And there's the shelter is right there as well. The basic school.
Yeah.
And so that was done. But I will say this, that it's a lot of red tape that has to take place even from the council ahead. And as I was saying, because I heard Dexter saying about not communicating fast enough, and that is correct. We still have to give the numbers that we have in shelters so that central government can send whether it be cots and mattresses and the bed supplies, as well as proper food supplies that is to be communicated. That hasn't happened as yet, and so one of the reasons I'm going to the shelters and doing the number count is so that I can send it straight to central government to see how fast they can do what they can do. And so at this time, I'm just saying at this time is really all hands on deck, and the blame game can come whereafter. So far, I'm getting all of the blame. If the people feel good at night saying that I should get all of it, fine. But there's a lot of public education that has to come from it in terms of who is responsible for what. Because you'll see Dexter cleaning a drain, but he can't touch drains that's not belonging to him. While the MP can do that, it's also a resource game. So whatever it is that the government gives to me, that is what I will use, and it goes as far as it can.
But if we talk about blame, how can you be blamed? You've been the MP for what, about 2 months? So if this is what was in place, because the country is supposed to be run by systems, and if the systems break down in no less than 2 months, 3 months, that's the only way you can be blamed, if the system broke down. But there was no system there,
Colin,
obviously.
I am getting blamed for things that's happening in West Portland right now. So,
sure. But let me ask you this, because you mentioned a while ago, or in your first outing, about the homeless persons. We just passed through the town a while ago. We saw them on the street, and we passed the brand new building that was built. I want to ask Comrade Roland, because I think this is more under the parish council's purview. Comrade Roland, why these homeless people are not in the new shelter that was built?
Well, just recently, maybe like a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago, they have invited applications for people to work at homeless center. These people have not been interviewed yet. Most of them have not been interviewed. So looking at it, although they're mattress there, and I think that at least even somebody being there working, they could have been invited there to stay. Because mattress is there, bed is there for them to occupy, but the staff is not in place.
And
So all the launching of that Prime Minister coming everything, no staff was put in place.
I know some of the questions that I'm asking you about the parish council are really questions that the mayor should be answering. I would love to talk to the mayor. So anybody have the mayor number, tell him that we are on Portland Spice TV right now, and the homeless people are in the town of Port Antonio, and the shelter is not open. Comrade MP, you want to comment on that?
As I said, I did raise it, and the response was that they're not staff. But I mean, at a time like this in a national crisis, especially a crisis in Portland, to ensure that the homeless is safe, we again, I will communicate same and have volunteers. There are a lot of competent JPs, a lot of people who could possibly volunteer, and we'll see how best, because they also, I've been told that the JDF is on board. They can get persons to actually man the centers during that time. The JCF also, it's not impossible for them to actually step in terms of ensuring that that shelter is open for what is to come.
That's what I'm thinking. Some kind of emergency.
The last thing I would say though, Colin, is there was a lot of PR that took place over that shelter, and it's just very disappointing to see that it's not operational at a time when it needs to be.
Because with this coming, and we've been preparing for this from about last week, Monday, because this whole thing started Monday gone, Tuesday, Wednesday, school closed Thursday, school closed Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you're saying to me that we couldn't put even a skeleton staff in place to take these people off the street?
Well, I agree with you. Not even that. There are people, there are trained personnel who work at the port and infirmary, who work on shift. So I could have easily worked out something with those who work up there.
Yeah.
Because it's
you see them
but
thing,
it does not really thinking
them thing I take leadership, So, Comrade MP, I don't know if you can touch base with the mayor and the police hierarchy between you and Comrade Roland and see what can be done, so we can even ensure that these people out of the weather, because if we're going to have rain for 2 days straight.
So, man, that's one of the reasons why like I said, I'm doing the phones and I'm also communicating safe. I did speak to certainly from my end, Natalie Mita, to ensure that I can communicate to her so that we can get central government. It's really Desmond McKenzie who is supposed to kind of put that pressure on the council.
Yes.
And let's just be clear, because I know I don't want Dexter to sound conflicted, but he's out there and he's doing all that he can in his capacity. I've been same for Wayne McKenzie, and we are doing what we are supposed to do. So,
and as I
just
said,
just for public education, for people to understand.
And that's why I said a while ago that the questions I'm asking Councillor Roland are questions really for the mayor of Port Antonio and the chairman of the municipal corporation, Councillor.
Yeah, man, but I agree. I'm just making it clear for public education standpoint that even sometimes, because at the end of the day, it's really it's one Portland, east and west.
Yes.
And whether they have the representation or not, it's one Portland. And when it comes to what we need to get from central government, we are united on that, especially for what is to come. We do it united. So what we take our parish council as we find it, but certainly my advocacy is to ensure that we get our lot to make sure that the people are okay. So I'm not throwing around blame, but to say that, to know that the Prime Minister and the local government minister, everybody came to open a shelter and it's not operational. One wonders. And so I'm not passing any blame on the parish council, but central government needs to do what they need to do, because they are the movers and shakers right now. And I'm just leaving it at that. When you see the mayor, he can answer separately. I'm not defending him, but to say that when it comes to Portland, it's us against them.
Thank you very much, MP. Councillor Roland?
Yes.
When
it comes to the employment, the person comes to Canada, they can move, and if they get a directive from the ministry, and they get it late, that is why the interview has not been concluded yet.
Comrade MP?
Yes.
Comrade Wright wants you to know that the vehicle you saw, Comrade Wright wants you to know that she's on the road as well. She just delivered some packages. So
I want you to know, I want to say this though, Shaka.
Yes, sir.
When I see your vehicle, I already assume that Natalie is there. So I like to speak on one accord. So Natalie, you know I know you're out there from I see Colin.
All right, sir. She does.
But that's for another show. Midnight Connection. So don't attack me now.
All right. So, Comrade MP, is there anything else you want to say to the people of East Portland and the people of Jamaica and people in the diaspora?
Yeah, for the people of Portland Eastern, you have to use your GPS. You have to use your smartphone, take your pictures, do the videos, send them into your divisional leaders, your cluster managers. We need to see in real time so that we can ensure that whatever our allocation is to restore ourselves as best as possible, we can get it in real time. We are competing against 62 other constituencies, and we need to know that. I'm always saying that everything I do, I anchor my expectations on God. God is bigger than anything. These are wonders and signs, but God will get us through it. Pray for your brothers and sisters. Be your brothers and sisters' keeper. And we are here. We are here with you, and we will do what we can when it is humanly possible to do so. Stay safe and protect your life. That is the most important thing.
And let me also say this to people out there. Isaac Buchanan is on YouTube every Thursday. Context matters. So for people who are saying they can't find the MP, this MP is available every Thursday. Is what, 4 to 6 MP?
That is correct.
Huh?
I want to add something to Colin, because for those people who are saying they can't find me, when them see me a while ago, they kiss them teeth, and they say they can't stand me.
Tell her.
So I know how elections work. You might not love me now, but you will love me in time.
All
so
right.
I know people are sad because who they voted for, they didn't get. But there are winners and there are losers, and because we have to win.
We have to win.
If they come on board soon enough and recognize that I'm here for everybody, they'll do less criticizing and work together for better Portland.
Yes, man. Respect. Comrade Roland.
Yes.
Wagwan, anything you want to wrap up or you want to say to the people out there?
Like he said, we have to keep in touch right through day and night. We're asking the people to be extremely careful, and if they feel that they don't feel so comfortable at home, don't be afraid to go into the shelter.
What about security at the shelters?
Reach out to anybody that they think that they need it, because we are all in this together and we have to help one another.
What about security at the shelters?
Or the security shelters?
Yeah.
Well, like the school, they have the normal security that is there.
Yeah.
Right through. But there are some places that don't have the security, although the police will go as planned to go to the area, visit the area now and again and see what is happening.
All right. Thank you very much, Councillor Roland. MP, thanks very much. We'll be in touch.
All right. Take care.
Blessings.
Blessings, everybody. All right.
Councillor Roland, thanks much. So, all who asked for Isaac Buchanan, that was Isaac Buchanan. There was no station that could have called the former MP like this and talk to them. And as I say, the MP is on YouTube every Thursday, a live show. This is the building. This building here is the building that they built. This is the shelter where the homeless people are supposed to go. You know from when it opened? It opened before the election. Ribbon cut. Hurricane come now, and the homeless people are still on the street. And you heard Councillor Rowland said nobody has been employed to work there as yet. But I believe if the municipal corporation had proper leadership, and the leadership I speak of the political directorate. Make no mistakes about it. I speak of the leadership by the 9 councillors, led by the mayor, His Worship the Mayor Paul Thompson. He is the head of the council, of the directorship. And with this storm coming and all that is happening, a skeleton staff should put in place. We have people who work in mental health department in the parish. Get 2 of them, pay them overtime. Get a district constable or some of the district constable to do some overtime there. Get some people from the JDF. Yeah? Put a skeleton staff in place and take the homeless people off the street. But I tell you all the while that leadership matters. Marsh did call on me. Cut Marsh, forget back. Talk to the people, the MP and the councillor. Leadership is critical. And if we don't have good leadership, the people perish. No vision. Good evening. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm all right.
Now, I cannot understand it. Jamaica is an island. We have hurricane every year. Maybe not bad one, but we have hurricane. Don't you think all the shelters should be mandatory? That each people in each district know where their shelters are. Well, there should be cot should be in every shelter.
But you don't know how much. You don't know how many you're going to need still, to be honest.
But he said they got 800. Okay, we get 800. You have the schools, you have maybe certain home you could turn into shelter for the time being. But can you imagine people are sleeping on hardboard?
No, it's no tough. But go ahead.
Go on, sir.
No, go ahead.
Listen to me. I have 2 people in Jamaica that is where he knows about the shelter. The people are gone in the shelter. There is no food. The people didn't bring any food. They wasn't told to bring things with them. So there's nothing in some of the shelter for people to eat. People have to be sending out to get food to eat. That's wrong. Every shelter, I don't know everyone. I'm only talking of the few I'm here about. Should have food there for the people. Maybe not cooked food, but they should have dry food. You could make sandwiches. You could make tea or coffee.
All right,
and water.
Carla, let's be fair though, and let's be reasonable, right? When you have this situation, you don't know exactly how many people going to turn up to the shelter. And I'm speaking now. Hold on. I'm speaking now for the parish council or the municipal corporation. You assess the storm, and one of the things that they said to people is bring food with you, because for now we shouldn't be staying more than a night at the shelter. But I guess the prediction of this storm has been so terrible in predicting this storm. Because if you realize, I said earlier, we've been preparing for this storm from last week, Monday. So bad that we didn't have school Thursday and Friday of last week. And the storm still not reached yet, and today is Monday again. So the prediction of the arrival of this storm has been really terrible. And we have to call a spade a spade. So you never know, say people are going to
Yeah,
the
but,
shelter for 2-3 days already and the storm not come yet. Normally shelter is
but
just for the night before the storm and during the storm. So now it kind of get away. So we have to be reasonable that they would expect people to carry a little food, because when now you expect to prepare food is after the storm now and people have nowhere to go home to know, you know, so people are going to be there for a while. So that is when you expect the vast amount of the bedding and the vast amount of food to come in, not before.
but yeah, but if you're announcing to go to the shelter, shouldn't you announce to bring some food or something to eat, something like something?
That is in the
You can't-
announcement. The announcements I have heard
No.
say bring food. Yeah, man.
Well, the announcement, I see the bus picking up people, some yellow bus picking up people, and the man only run with a little like a little one got passport or papers in and gone on the bus. No, they never said that there is no food. He
Well,
said, "Run, come to the shelter."
well, guess what?
This is what I'm watching every station
But guess
to
what
hear
happened now?
what they're saying.
You what need to happen? The shelter managers now. And that's why you have to have proper shelter managers, you know, because may I observe something and I see some shelter manager when I really wonder how them are going to manage a shelter, them can manage themselves. The shelter managers have to be in a position now that when you see these people arrive and you come in and you check off and say, yo, may have 17 persons, 90% of them not have no food. You know have to call the authority and say, listen, Ray, people they hear no food, no they hear them all need food, and then the authorities start providing food. You know, so
Okay,
we have to work it
sir,
out.
but sir, listen. But listen, sir. Okay, this hurricane is a warning then. So do you know next year or there's another hurricane? So what happened? We got to prepare. We got to take this politics out of disaster
Well, I don't know
and
if any
come
politics has
together.
been. I don't know if any politics been played right now, but last year as well, we had some of the same issues where people went into the shelters without any bedding, any food, and we're not learning.
Well, all I can see, I forget the name because really I'm not very good at names and everything. And it's a shelter. The man will not open the shelter because he did not win. So the shelter will not open. The lady was saying it on the
Madness
TV,
that.
on the YouTube, right? So
But listen,
if you're
Carla,
using
Carla,
politics in,
I know everything you see on YouTube and in our media true still, you know. So we have to be
but the
careful
lady is
sometimes.
no. The lady is a person that I would trust to come and talk about it, sir.
Oh, so it's somebody that you know
It's just
personally.
because I cannot remember her name.
Okay. All right.
Listen,
All right. No,
I trust you.
go ahead.
Okay, then have a good.
No,
have a
finish.
good
Finish
day,
your
yeah?
thought. Finish your thought.
All I'm saying, I don't listen to everything. There is only 5 people I watch. I watch when I get up and I do my housework and everything done. Everything I sit down and watch every one of those people, even if I go back to what I miss. Those
Okay.
people I trust. You understand? Like I listen to you now,
Yeah.
and I go somewhere else and someone I could say, Mr. Bell said this.
Yes.
I
Yes.
don't like, I don't this. I am going to be 79
Okay.
soon,
So
and
you're
I
then
do not
foolish.
listen to. I don't. No. I am telling you, I'm a grandmother, great aunts of a lot,
All right,
aunties
Grandma.
and things.
All
And
right.
that's
Stay
it.
stay
So
safe. I
I,
give
I
somebody else a
like to
chance.
listen to truth.
All right.
Yes,
Truth we
sir.
say.
You have a
Blessing.
good day. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, man. The truth and only the truth, so help me God. I saw the video from down at Ian Hills, but I can't believe people really in this. I talk about them a whole and panky. Auntie Dan,
Yeah,
Wagwan.
right.
Always
Yes, so you know.
Portmore.
Well, my section, we're having the rains and the breeze, but we're having that from last night still. So heavy breeze last night, and it dipped, it's not so heavy at this time, but we have the rains on and off. And I saw videos of the MP and Dr. Dawes and the councillor for my division, Kennard Brandt, doing some necessary cleanup. But as we all know, it's not a lot can be done at this time. So we just give thanks for what can be done by anybody, any MP, any councillor. we just have to give thanks for
Yes,
that.
man. What needs to be done needs to be done.
Yeah, I listened to this lady and she started her sentence, but she started out, it was correct that every year, if not every year, we are in a hurricane zone.
Yes.
So we should be more prepared.
Yeah, man. We
And
should
the,
have slicker than this in
yeah, we
a
should have,
hurricane season.
Frank Gilbert, we should have get more, turn more expert. We should
Yes.
have a self consultancy
Let me tell you something.
for that.
From June coming, every critical drain in Jamaica should be totally bushed and clean from June
Mm-hmm.
coming. Even little before June, you should have started clean the drain
Yes,
them,
yeah,
full
yeah,
maintenance.
yeah,
You
I
shouldn't
agree
have
with that.
sandy gully with
And
big trees in it. And I hate to say this,
yeah,
but it's 9,
and
10
I
years
hear
this
it tonight.
government, it's 10 years this government in our power.
You know, me respect your brethren, shower man.
Yeah, man. Him hold it.
Respect him, you know. Yeah, man.
Man,
Yes.
them not clean the
Me
drain.
sometime him go on somewhere where we don't agree with, but I consider him someone that you can reason with.
Him rational. He's
I mean,
rational.
yes. All right. Now, I believe that you see, like bed, what you call it, mattress and thing there.
Yeah.
Each parish should have a central place where you store those things, you know.
And I think they do, I think them have some. But
They do. So why every year the centers the centers them have issues with getting in the mattress them and you have to call here and call there. So that's why I'm saying that. I mean, if you have to go check thing there in Kingston now for Portland, they can't understand that. You need to have somewhere central.
no, they do.
So
As I say, Auntie Dawn, I am sure they do have some in every parish. I
but
don't know if the
but we
amount
don't
is
hear.
adequate based on what happened. I don't know if they distribute them on time. I am aware of a vehicle was going to Bellevue, I think it was yesterday, with some mattress for the center up there, but the road in Bellevue was blocked,
Mm-hmm.
And I think that vehicle had to turn back. So they do have some, but I don't think they're going to have enough if people turn out to the calls that they have been making. And that's why I would suggest that anybody going to a shelter, carry a little something, carry a little food, carry one bed, carry bedding.
No, that is another thing where we come round to again. Every year they say the same thing. If you may not have there how much amount, but whatever you have in your house where you can eat when you reach to be on the safe side.
Carry
You
it with
walk with something.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you walk with something that can stop a gap.
Because as me
until
say, before the storm, no food now go come at the shelter like that. It's after the storm you expect to prepare to provide for people.
And I know, I mean, I don't know if it's for every parish, but I know when I used to work in Portland, they used to have a system that a shopkeeper in every area where they center. Yes, that the center manager could order supplies from. You make a list, then give them receipt, them bill, and your credit, and then after they get back. I don't know if that system is still in place, but it's systems like that we need to maintain because Russia, we have to be realistic.
Yes.
We cannot supply in times like these, like you say, the mattress them there go Bellevue, roadblock. The same way food for go Bellevue, roadblock.
Yes.
And so we have to have these kind of systems in place. And as we hear about the thing here, the storm, when you say over 1 week, she out of see a language.
Yeah,
we should have put certain things, even the mattress, them, where the center is going to be,
Yes.
So you don't have to go put it somewhere because plenty of them in school.
Most
school
of the shelters are schools.
Thursday. Right. School lockdown from Thursday. From Friday, you start putting a few mattresses, you're not going to know how many people come. But put in some that you can say you staff. So even when people come, then can pitch them up together and do a thing. But it can't be beer and then you have scramble all around, especially in a parish like Portland where you know, say, landslide every two inch. You will go back up a roadblock. You know, you have to put in them kind of system. And everywhere we need that kind of system, because Portland is not the only parish with that kind of terrain. A lot of Jamaica have that kind of terrain. So you have to prepare for it because you know said Jamaica is a mountainous country. And most of the time the centers are needed in the areas where you will have landslide and roadblock. So you know, we need to have a more organized, realistic program in place. And like between Gilbert and Charlie, you know, since Gilbert, we have a whole multitude of them, you know.
Yes, yes. As you
So
said,
it's not
as
that
you said, we should be expert at preparing for these storms by now. That we should be
yes,
giving
yes, ma'am.
consultancy around the world. But thanks,
Yes.
Auntie Don.
All right, take care and all the best. You
Blessings,
hear?
man. Yeah, man. 876-804-7072. Hold on, man. Hold on, you need a mic. Let me get.
I want to know if people really believe, say, the people them gone at the shelter and have food at the yard and don't carry it. The people them not have no food. Because there's no way you're going to leave your house and go and shelter. The people them not even want to leave them TV. So you think them are going to have food and leave it? The people them not have no food at the yard.
You not agree with that? The producer say the people them not have no food at them yard. That's why them not carry no food. Got the shelter. If they did have food, I don't want to believe that. 876-804-7072. Somebody said they agree. Hold on there. Producer said the people them not have no food to carry. And that's why them not carry no food. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Bell.
Welcome to the Colin Bell Show. How you do?
Boy, I tell you, I don't know what you know. I'm just hoping that things will go well in Jamaica. But tell me something. Jamaica is really backward, you know, Mr. Bell.
Why you say that?
To be very honest, sometimes it pains me. Are they expecting the people to take food to the shelter? The shelters are to be prepared so that people can get a hot cup or whatever. They should be getting hot cups of soup and they should be getting at least something to in the evening so that they can eat and be satisfied. You're not supposed to be walking with food to shelters.
The question
shelters
I am asking, should this take place before the storm or after the storm?
Long before, my dear. We're not serious. Jamaica, trust me, we are not serious about anything. The shelters are to be prepared days ahead of the storm once we know the storm is coming. As a matter of fact, we need to have shelters that we don't have to use the schoolrooms and so on. We need to build shelters in every single community. It can be done. We need to have resources kind of so that people food can be prepared.
We have that kind of money?
Look, hello, we waste what we have and put it in our pocket. That's the problem we have, you know?
Yeah, but the
Mr.
people them not worry about that. The people them not worry about $100 million where we lose every year.
I know, sir, and that is the sad part of it.
So
I know, and that is the sad part of it.
Oh, we are going to build shelters when we can't sort out with hospitals.
Oh, Lord have mercy. It is serious. I mean, in every community, make sure you have business people, and even if it's not in every community, but in every parish, I am absolutely certain that we have business people who would be very happy to jump on board in helping to establish a center so that people, vulnerable people, can get into those shelters in times like these. And like everywhere else in the world apart from Jamaica, provide opportunities for them to get food.
Well,
and beds and those things should be in the centers. We can't be running up and down like we are idiots and putting people's life in jeopardy when things like these happen.
See, we have
You see,
another,
we're not serious, Mr. Bell.
see, we have another problem in Port Antonio where a building was built to be used as a shelter for homeless people. And see the homeless people them up on the road right now, and the building lock up. You heard Councillor Roland tell we said bed and them something there in there. And see the people up on the road in the rain and it lock up down there. For one reason or the other.
There has to be some sort of compliance, and people need to be serious about people. You see, homeless people, they don't want to go in any shelter. They really want to be on the street. But you have to have reason for them to go in, and you have to people to man those places to make sure that the people stay in and treat them good.
Because you see, you have to secure them there, you know, because them can't secure themselves.
Absolutely.
So we who claim say we have our faculties together have to look after them.
Boy, Mr. Bill, it's not many of us think like that, and it's just that those things that pain my heart. Because what Jamaicans wait until, you know, they wait and they could suffer, they could eat from the garbage bin to the entire 5 years. And anytime election comes around, just give them $5,000 and ask them to go and vote for you, and they are going to do it.
And but tell us
that's
something.
The level of intelligence.
Each of the political party them have people where pick up them homeless people and carry them go vote, you know.
All right. Okay.
Later, caller. Thanks for the call.
Bless yourself and take good care of yourself, sir, and stay safe.
All right. You too, my darling. Hold on.
You see, if them have food at the house,
yeah,
the people, the homeless people would stay there.
If
they stay on the road because that is where they get something to eat. So once they provide food for them down there, some of them will stay. Maybe not all, but some of them will stay.
I agree. And a lot of people in the chat room are agreeing with you. Say people don't have food at them yard. For care, gone or shelter. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show.
Good evening, Mr. Bell.
Sambo, Wagwan.
Yeah, Mr. Bell, you know, I hear you talking with what happened. In the 70s, when I was a scout, it would be a joy for us to have a situation like this, to go out and help people.
We still have scouts? We still have scout troop?
No, those things are... No, just me assure you, we need to have back scouting school. I can remember I was from South Clarendon with a flood-prone area.
I used to be a scout.
And when we have something like this, the truck would come into each district and collect all scout. And we would meet up at a central point. And people are in the first year division, people are in the kitchen division, they will put place all about. Me and Dolly was Dolly from MP.
Yes.
We were a chef in the kitchen.
Oh.
Right? And in those days, a truck we have to go in, we never have car and thing. Right? And we were more mobilized to help people than now. Right?
Yes.
I'm surprised. In those days, we know how much scout can go here at this school, that school, and that school. Right? We know what we went to do. We went up on the truck to lift up people to bring them to the center. We went in the kitchen, go and look for food, go and do this, we go and spread bed. We know all of those things. Right? So we need, I would ask Mr. Buchanan to start a first year service within the school, within his constituency. We need to have that. We need to have that's emergencies like these.
Yes.
We know where and who to call on. We have different from the government. The people are there to just mobilize. Because it's surprising. I never realized that we were so advanced in the 70s.
Well, you see, there was more love, more community leadership, because the scout troop, the head scout used to be a big community leader, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And we used to have more of that kind of camaraderie and coming together.
Yeah. Remember every month,
unity and
remember every month we just go somewhere go camp on a weekend now.
Yes, man. Yes.
Remember every month we just go somewhere go camp. Right? So and everybody know them role. So, like this will be a joy for us to be up and down now or we in court or up and down help people.
Me tried the whole of
Maybe it would
Gilbert
be
with
a
a axe,
joy.
you know. A whole heap of people me saving a Gilbert, you know. Whole heap. Whole
Say it
heap.
would be a joy.
Yeah, man.
It would be a joy for us to help people.
But
I know you
again,
have an
Sam,
empty building. You
again,
have an empty building closed down.
you see the
Brand new
mass,
building, people can go in.
the masses have
Yeah,
to know that leadership is critical. And when you
yeah,
choose your
man.
leaders in an election, these are the people that have to make critical decisions in times of trouble and in good times and in
Yeah.
times of emergency. So if you don't choose people
Well,
who possess that kind of leadership or show that kind of leadership in some way, shape, or form before you choose them, then you end up with things like these.
yeah. But I'm begging to ask Mr. Buchanan to start a first aid program in his constituency with the youth them. A special seminar with them. That's something like this. You can put from the youth. Uh,
All right,
Put
Sam.
from the
Give
youth.
thanks. Give
Yeah,
thanks.
man.
Bless up.
Yeah, man.
876-804-7072.
On primetime news last night, I saw this young man from Paul Bogle High School, I think, and he was an assistant center manager. And as I hear Sam talk a while ago about the youths, we need to engage some of these youths and get them involved in training and stuff like this.
Definitely.
Normally, it's the old people, normally the Red Cross and whatever. We need to engage some young people.
Get them involved.
Yeah.
Definitely. 876-804-7072. The government is... Colin, I have done storm recovery many years. In every shelter, there should be a stock of food to feed about 100 people in every shelter. And there should be proper bedding, baby care, seniors care in all the facility. I am here broken just listening to all the foolishness that is happening in my country. You see, and again, me telling you, leadership. Shaka, shelters are temporary housing. Most times, churches and schools are the main buildings that are used via disaster. So most times, in the first stage, people carry their own food. That's my understanding. But what I have to agree with the producer now is if there's a consensus, which I'm seeing in the chat room, that the people don't have no food for carry. So if a man don't have food for carry, him not going to carry no food. So that is where now the shelter manager is critical, because the shelter manager must assess the situation when people start coming into the shelter. Are they coming with food? You must take a register of who comes to the shelter, who have food, who not have food, and touch base with the parish coordinator right away to say, I have 16, 2 people have food, 14 have no food, we need food, because these are urgent movements, you know. Because if the storm going to start this evening, anywhere food not there already, and food not there on the way I go there is problem. So we have to understand how we get ready for these situations. Desmond Mackenzie said that the councils have money. Make we listen to this.
Visibly annoyed local government minister Desmond Mackenzie kicked the door off claims being made by some councillors in the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation that the ministry is withholding well-needed funds.
So the Ministry of Local Government don't hold on any money. And what they are not telling the country and telling their municipalities, that there are 13 schemes of own source revenues that the municipal corporation have at their disposal, that nobody can tell them how to use that money. They determine how their own source revenues are used.
Mr. Mackenzie argued that he won't be bullied by people who he said only want to create mischief.
Look at the state of your administration of your municipality first before you start to pass remarks and make statements which you cannot substantiate. And we're not talking about the ministry not giving them money. in the new salary arrangements. And I have to get it off my chest because if I don't, it's going to kill me. In the new salary arrangements, we invited every municipal corporation to the ministry.
This included mayors. Mr. Mackenzie said they were asked for feedback.
And everybody get up in the meeting and say, we are satisfied with the structure. As a matter of fact, we got more than we asked for. And we are glad for the structure that we have gotten.
He stressed that money is issued once programs are submitted.
So they can talk about local government not giving them anything. Every month, $500 million or more dollars is sent to the municipal corporation for roads. What? And I have reached breaking point on this matter. Yes, sir. Because I think they are dishonest.
Ramarde Lyons, TVJ News.
Mr. Mackenzie, my understanding is that the councillors are asking for something from the equalization fund. Them say you have millions, the same 25% that them say them have. Them say you have a 25% there that you are holding, that you also can assist the parish councils with the equalization fund. Tell us about that, Minister Mackenzie. Tell us about the equalization fund. You all heard me ask Councillor Roland a while ago why the councils are not using the SGR fund and clean some of the drains, because it is really bad that we are running up and down in the rain now trying to clean drains. And, you know, the election was the 3rd of September. And all of the people in my Portland, we are run up and down a call for the MP. And you praise the former MP for doing such a great job. Why there are so many drains to clean now? Those drains should have cleaned between June and now. Is the hurricane season. So you should have been cleaning these drains, maintaining them from the hurricane season coming. But I tell people that the country is not run by men. Country is supposed to be run by laws and systems implemented by men and operated by men. And if the system break down in less than 3 months after you step out, then your systems were weak. Systems were weak. We're taking your calls on 876-804-7072. We have some clips of what is happening in some place. I want to touch base. Listen to them clip there. We lost the caller. Oh, we're just having a caller. 876-804-7072. You can call me straight, or you can call me on WhatsApp. As I said, we have some clip here. I have one from St. Thomas. Let's go to this clip from St. Thomas. Hold on, let me switch. Let me make a switch over here so that we can get good volume here.
Evening, my boss. Well, the rain start not too hard, but
no, this clip is from Manchester. Manchester.
Yes, evening, my boss. Well, the rain start not too hard, but the rain a go on and the breeze just start kicking, but nothing too major now going back this side as yet. Yes, sorry there, sir.
That is a clip from Manchester. Let's go to St. Thomas.
It's Colin. It's somewhat similar to it's somewhat similar to the Portland the whole Portland issue. I mean, St. Thomas and Portland most of the time share the same type of weather, barring one or two occasions where they might differ. So we are experiencing the same southern coastal waves coming to us. You understand? A few trees down because of continuous saturation before the storm itself comes. You understand? And so we are here. A number of farms are flooded. Nobody, no deaths, no wash away, no nothing. You understand? But we are basically prepared technically. I mean, the word was spread. So yeah, man, we are going good so far. So nothing untoward, nothing too strange to report. I'm not sure because we will be closer to the hurricane when it really hits Jamaica later on or tomorrow. You understand? So I mean, that wind that it was coming with is a little bit more forceful than the tropical storm force wind that we got. Yeah, which is the outer bands, might be a little bit devastating for some areas because, as you know, all routes are saturated, roofs are, but a number of persons are into shelters already. The shelter that I monitor in my area is somewhat, a lot of bookings for it. They are currently moving and stuff. So we're good. I hope that everybody in Portland is okay because you don't know the thing said.
All right, so that is from out of Western St. Thomas. And we have the latest message from the leader of opposition. Let's play that for you now.
Is a release from the People's National Party Media Unit.
Good afternoon, Jamaica. This is Mark Golding. It's Monday, 27th October at 3:45 p.m. While Melissa's slow and deliberate pace may feel like nothing is happening, please don't be complacent. The hurricane's outer bands have been lashing sections of the island since Sunday. Trees and light poles are down in several parishes. Some areas are already flooded, and waves have been surging higher along our coastlines. The long build-up over several days does not mean the danger has passed. Indeed, the period of extreme danger is about to be upon us. Our local Met Service and the many international meteorologists say that we are about to directly encounter this major organized hurricane. Tonight into tomorrow will be a most dangerous time for our country. Melissa's eye wall, with the most catastrophic winds and storm surge, is projected to make landfall on our southwestern coast. For everyone in Jamaica, the message is urgent. We must expect torrential rain, causing life-threatening flash flooding and mudslides, and destructive winds in parts of the island. Indeed, the entire island may be affected. So please, I implore you, stay indoors, away from windows and doors. Do not venture outside if it isn't an emergency. Check on your neighbors, especially the elderly, the sick, and those who may have a disability, if it is safe to do so. And if you will need to get to a shelter, do so now. We Jamaicans are resilient. By following the emergency instructions, we will protect each other and see this through together. So stay safe, Jamaica, and may God continue to bless and keep us. One love.
Mark Jefferson Golden from the People's National Party. Conrad O'Brien, the fireman.
Indeed, Colin. How you doing? Heal up yourself and listeners and viewers. Hope everybody is keeping safe as possible and, keeping warm and dry and look out for your neighbor. Carry 1 pound of flour, give somebody one tin of dirty girl.
Yes, do what you can do.
Anyhow, let me just clarify that quickly, Colin. That and I'm sorry, I hope nobody is offended. It's the name that is used for cannfish or tin mackerel here in Jamaica.
Well,
so please, I'm not disrespecting anybody, please.
Every Jamaican know what we mean when we say you carry a tin of dirty girl, go give somebody. It's a tin of mackerel. Yeah, man. You have the peppered one now. Me love it. Mackerel and dumpling.
Yeah, man. And I tell you something. It is. I don't do a lot of the flour thing these days, but certainly it's really a thing that go well with flour, and some people love it with them white rice.
Yes, man. Mackerel and white rice, mackerel and dumpling.
Yeah, man.
What is taking place in your neck of the woods in Clarendon, Manchester, Conrad O'Brien?
All right. Colin, let me just pause quickly to just say that I heard the message that you just played from your party president and opposition leader, Mark Jefferson Golden, the man who had carried the People's National Party recently from 14 seats to 28 and had about 100 or so thousand more people voted for him that were voted in 2020. So so the country is literally bust in half in terms of popular support for the two major political parties. So Mark Golden is a leader, and he certainly stepped out. I think this message, Colin, that you broadcast just now, he had given it for a couple of days ago. So he was out there quick in the piece, early in the
Come on,
piece.
this one was today. This is a new message that was delivered
Oh,
today.
this is a new message. This one is
3:30
today.
today. Yes.
Oh, 3:30. Okay, so that is good, because what it shows is that he is keeping on top of things and basically updating his message as you go along, similarly to the forecast that we're getting from the meteorologist.
Yes.
Yeah, Colin. So you're asking what's going on in the central part of the island, Clarendon, Manchester.
Yes.
Clarendon, as I see it, seems to be a little bit more tame at this time than Manchester. Well, even from last night, the amount of rainfall and certainly gusty wind that we had in Clarendon, certainly the area that I am close to, was not as inundated as what I got from my family and everybody in Manchester, Manchester. As a matter of fact, I am aware that persons who would have even battened down the window, I don't know if it was faulty workmanship, but certainly one young lady that I spoke to told me that, which I think that, and this is something that I must point out, Colin, workmen, please, for heaven's sake, man, especially when it comes to women, do not, basically thief the people of money, so to speak. And I'm using strong language. You can't go and nail up a couple pieces of board at somebody's house, take you less than half an hour or whatever, and you charge them $25,000. I mean, it's unconscionable. So, and at the end of the day, it's not done properly, because last night, without any major, remember, Colin, we are not yet in the neck of things. Exactly, the hurricane will come yet, and the button that was put out there to stave off the hurt from the house, it's already gone. $25,000 gone down the drain just like that.
So she not calling back to come nail it up.
I don't even.
She need to call him back to come put it up. But no.
I don't even know, because I've been trying to reach her, and I'm not getting through to her. I'm trying to call her both straight and on WhatsApp, and I'm not getting her. So that's the other thing, Colin. It seems as if the network not holding up in certain place. So I don't know. But all in all, it has been a steady rainfall almost all day in Clarendon. Not heavy, but steady, and there has been some amount of breeze. As I said, not certain by no means hurricane or hurricane standard or anything. But what happened? It is clear. That something is in the atmosphere. What we're feeling, you can just feel that something is in the atmosphere. The trees are swaying quite a bit, and of course, as I said, the water and all over that you can look, Colin. As far as you can look, the sky is pitch white. One could say
normally when hurricane is threatening Jamaica, the sky kind of orange. Me not see that this time. What happened to that?
Khalid, you're correct. I don't see it. So maybe it is something that I don't know if it's. I don't know how to answer that. I really don't know. I really don't know.
When hurricane come all this time, and it come like a daylight all night the night where the sky red, orange. Well, not red, orange. And then I heard a Rasta man on the television last night say, he might watch a tree them and him not see the sign in the tree them yet. I know the trumpet tree, the leaves normally turn over up to 3 days before a hurricane. You see trumpet leaf a turn over. Where I am living now, I am not seeing a trumpet tree. But anybody who have watched it, who know for watch a trumpet tree, tell me one thing if you don't see the sign. Mystical yesterday talked to us and said the birds are still around. I don't see my birds. There are 2 birds that are normally on a light wire just across from my house. And I don't see them for the last 2 mornings.
All right, Colin, I said something in a particular space, and by no means I am questioning the trained professional, the meteorologists and so on. I'm not questioning their professionalism. But I did opine, Colin, by reasoning. Have we seen an overselling of this young lady, this hurricane? I don't know. I don't know. But and what happened, Colin? There is a forecast that we got from the American Weather Center out of Miami. Came out about 2:00. I received it about 2:07. And it points to where the hurricane seems to be going further west, sort of westwardly. And if we get it, if it continues to go on a westward trajectory, I'm not professing to be a meteorologist now, but if it continues to go westerly, Colin, then certainly we would be better off. But anything eastward, certainly that would be troublesome for us. So I am listening to the bulletin to hear if it continue on the westerly trajectory or it make any form of easterly turn. Because if it turn east, then basically it would be bringing it closer to the center, and we could be in for some amount of trouble for that. So with that, all in all, Colin, we just have to. I am at the point right now where I am just depending on the good Lord and just keeping my fingers crossed and hoping for the best result. Because when you listen to the report and so on, Colin, if what we're getting from the projection, as a matter of fact, right now I'm looking at my television and CNN because we have been getting quite a bit of international coverage on this. Or I saw where Colonel Charles Jr., they carried him quite a few times on the channel and so on. They have also carried the Prime Minister. So they're getting quite a bit of international coverage on this. And right now, as we speak, Colin, what is being shown now on the television set, if those projections come through, Colin, then certainly we will be in for a lot of disaster. And I am hoping and praying that it's not quite so. And the local forecaster, such as the gentleman there with the trumpet tree analogy and Mystic with the bird analogy, I'm hoping that they are indeed correct. Because, Colin, one thing with our local people, no second guess them, then kind of study this thing to our way,
No, but Obi, let me tell you.
Yeah.
I just said it to somebody a while ago that we've been preparing for this storm from last week, Monday. And I also said that they have been unable to predict the storm correctly. Because remember, school closed Thursday and Friday. And
yeah, man.
And we are now at Monday.
We are now at Monday. Yeah, man. All the court system, the government offices, everything. The country had been literally come to a full shutdown. business that seems to be up and running and seems to be making quite a bit of money are the supermarket, the companies that do big products
And the
and
hardwares.
certainly on the hardware and certainly the hardwares.
Hold on, Obi. Somebody saying birds still come to my ackee tree and creep
Okay.
down. Yeah. So if the birds are still coming to the ackee tree, I don't know.
Colin, I will just use an example and let me say good afternoon to the most honorable Percival James Patterson, PJ. I remember when PJ was Prime Minister and he was doing quite a bit of work and so on. There was a situation somewhere in the Harborview area there going out that side. And they basically erected a Bailey. They were erecting a Bailey bridge. And a local resident went to Mr. Patterson and so on. And out of frustration, as a matter of fact, it was the very first time I saw Mr. Patterson get flustered publicly.
Hold on.
You know?
You remember which part that time, Obi?
It was somewhere out along the Harborview area there.
Yes, that was the Yallas Bridge. When they put up
Yes.
Remember we used to have the Yallas Ford, we used to drive down into the river. And every time rain, it wash away and all of them things there. And PG decided to put a Bailey Bridge cross there.
Yes.
And it was a little Rastaman up in a little lane, stoop down to, I said,
Yes.
Mr. Prime Minister, that now go hold, Anytime the rain come, that gone.
Yes.
Where PJ said, shit, yo.
Yeah, PJ go quite. So it reminds me, Colin. It reminds me, Colin, of the argument that you just posit about the Rasta gentleman who talked about the trumpet tree.
Yeah. So
is it the trumpet tree?
Yeah, man,
yes?
the trumpet tree, the leaf. I know that the leaf turn over when hurricane come. And I used to live at Shrewsbury. Only a trumpet tree about, so we used to watch them. The leaf not turn over, we know it's an hurricane now come. The sky now turn red, we know it's an hurricane now come. But they said that they have more modern technology.
I wonder if that gentleman is listening now and could call in to tell us if where he is at, where the trumpet tree maybe if there's any change. Or anybody at all who's listening, Colin.
Anybody who listening who used to watch a trumpet leaf them and see them turn over, or watch the animals, because different animals deal with this thing at different, Obi. Different animals,
share for example something with the animal, Colin.
Like the ants, you see the ants them are store food when they are coming out.
Oh yes.
Man, you see them as store food. I think certain. Well, I did say at 2 morning, no, I don't see the bird them. But Mystical says see him bird them same way. So I don't know what is happening in different areas. Somebody said the bird them come on the ackee tree every morning same way. The birds go up to the hills. And you see the hands them marching with food, yes.
Yeah, that's something
Obi,
I haven't seen much. And
there's a press conference happening right now. I want to take a little bit from it.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
There you go. See, she's been trying. She's really been trying. But, we want to create a space that is really conducive for everyone to participate in knowing what is happening. And so, Tony, the work that you do day in and day out, we appreciate it. We appreciate you making this space a lot more one that is truly for the entire Jamaica and is truly inclusive. And so we're going to get started. This will be a shorter briefing. And so the man of the hour, Evan Thompson. Evan, you have to come and give us good news. This is the 7th briefing we have.
So this is the man, the whale weatherman now, the expert who
come and talk to
said
Jamaica.
that not going to miss us. Let's see what Evan Thompson said now.
Thank you, and I'm going to try to do this in 7 minutes. Good evening, everyone here in Jamaica, of course. Minister, I greet you. Mr. Chairman, sir, Mr. Sweeney, good to see you and all distinguished persons here. I greet the media and I greet the people who are watching online and those who are watching on television at this time. What we have facing us is a major Category 5 hurricane that is over the waters of the Caribbean Sea and moving closer and closer to the mainland of Jamaica. It is some distance, over 100 miles to the south of the island at this time, and it is expected, or it has already begun a slight turn toward the northwest. The movement over the past day or so has been westward, moving from southeast of the island to now just southwest of the island. It is moving now to the northwest, which would suggest that it's going to be moving away. It suggests that, but be not fooled, because the projection was that it would turn first to the northwest and then take a turn toward the north, and then a turn toward the northeast. So it's making a turn to kind of beeline toward the western part of Jamaica. It is what was projected. Many persons were wondering, how could you possibly predict that the system was going to make a turn like that? Because obviously it is moving toward the west. All our meteorologists were telling you online that it is actually going to be moving toward the west and continue westward. But the truth is there are a number of steering patterns that force the direction of movement of systems like these. And as the models ingest the data, they would suggest where those patterns will exist, where high pressure centers would be and where low pressure troughs would be, where frontal systems would be. And all these have some impact on the direction of movement of systems like Hurricane Melissa. So what was expected is that when there was a break from the high pressure area that was north of Jamaica, when there was a slight break, it would take advantage of that break and move toward the north, because the general motion of a hurricane in this area would be not just west, but a bit north of west while it makes its recurvature and continues to the north. So this is what was expected. There is a little break that it is experiencing, and so it's taking advantage of that break to move toward the north. It just so happens that Jamaica is the place where the break is being experienced. And so with that happening, we are now seeing that turn, and for the system to continue to make its way, keeping itself as much in low pressure areas as possible, because it is itself a low pressure system. So we see on our picture here, the center, which we call the eye of the hurricane. Right around it, those areas that are very white are what we call the eye wall of the system. Then there are those inner bands and then wider outer bands or spiral bands or feeder bands as they're referred to. These take the moisture, as you see, from the southern part of the Caribbean, moving it into the system. And so it keeps it generating. And, you know, they are very warm waters of the Caribbean Sea that all our tourists always flock Jamaica to experience. Looking at the image here now, we see again a satellite imagery showing the cloud mass and the storm, the hurricane as it is, but these dots actually are showing where lots of lightning storms have been detected. So there's lots of lightning that's occurring within the system, and we see that the central part where the eye is located is one of the main areas where there's a lot of activity, heavy thunderstorms. There is torrential rainfall, but there is so much activity in the clouds that it's producing this kind of lightning. Here we see a forecast of the track of this system. First, we see how it has moved so far, moving from east to west over the waters to the south. And then as it makes its turn, which is what we are experiencing at this time, the center of the system has started to make a turn, although it appears that it had moved a little bit past the Negril Point, which is our westernmost point of Jamaica. But as I said, recurving to the northeast, and so moving across the island of Jamaica. It's expected to make impact somewhere in the eastern part of Westmoreland or extreme west of St. Elizabeth. So near to that border, of Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth is where it's expected to make its what we call the landfall. There are some terms that we need to deal with. In this case, we have a landfall. In the case of Berylov last year, we did not have a landfall because the eye did not cross the coast. But being so close to the coast, with us coming into contact with the eye wall, it was considered a direct hit. So it's a hit, but it's not a landfall. This case is both a hit and a landfall because that center is actually crossing the coast of Jamaica. So a little bit more education, Minister. So it's moving across the island, and we expect that it will make its exit from the island somewhere in the vicinity of Trelawney, St. Anne, as it moves off the north coast. Now, in that time, of course, we do expect that Jamaica will experience significant impacts of this hurricane. It will be a serious event because this is what we have captured from the radar that's operating in Jamaica. With the showers, you can see some of the shower bands that are already being experienced over sections of Jamaica. The southern part of the island, as well as in the west, we experience quite a few of those bands, and those have been producing rainfall over sections of the island. We've also begun to experience some of the tropical storm force winds, mainly over southern parts of the country, as the system is to the south. But as it moves closer to us, we'll see more of that kind of weather, more of the rainfall as we move into the bands of rain that are surrounding the system. And as we experience more of the tropical storm force winds that surround it moving toward the north, we are going to experience more of that over the next day or two. By tomorrow morning, that's when we expect that center to be making its way to the east, to the coastline. So this is our forecast track. The center of the system, as a major hurricane, will continue to move toward the coastline. And then by tomorrow morning, we expect that it will be making landfall. The exact point, we can't really tell you for sure, but as I said, most likely eastern Westmoreland, western St. Elizabeth, and then it will continue its way across the island. By late in the day, by evening hours, we are expecting to see that center, still a major hurricane, moving off the coast. Earlier in our previous press briefing, I did indicate that although I told you what the wind speeds would have been expected to be when it makes landfall, but I indicated that it would have been Category 4. On further review, it would be a Category 5 hurricane making landfall in the southwest, and this is according to the current projections. So it will move across, starting as a Category 5, but then reducing in intensity as it moves toward the north coast, and then it would make its exit and head toward the eastern part of Cuba. That's the forecast track. Here we see an image that indicates somewhat where the peak storm surge would occur. With the hurricanes, although you have the flooding that occurs because of the rainfall, we also have flooding that comes in coastal areas that is driven by the wind on the waves of the sea. So the wind actually pushes the water of the sea onto the land, and that is what creates storm surge for those residents who live in coastal areas. Of course, if there is an inlet or a bay, that is usually the areas where the storm surge is most impactful. And so in the areas of Black River, Alligator Pond, I believe, will experience some amount of storm surge. Here you see a closer picture of that area, and you see that it does extend somewhat inland. So we have to be careful about if we are in that general area of St. Elizabeth, where it would be just east of the center of the system as it makes that landfall. So these images show where those storm surges are likely to be most significant. Here now we look at the rainfall forecast for the 4 days going up to the 31st of October. And here we see that mostly central and eastern parishes would be inundated by the heaviest rainfall that would get up to 30 inches. We're talking about 750 millimeters of rainfall. We're not accustomed to measuring that. I'm not even too sure if our rain gauges will fully be able to deal with that kind of capacity before they are renewed. But we, of course, will make every effort to provide the best data after the event as possible. But here we see the heavy rainfall producing significant flooding, and this will be over most of the island. The other areas of the island going toward the western end would actually be receiving more of the rainfall as well. But because the heaviest rainfall that is associated with this hurricane is going to be to the right side of the eye as it makes its way across Jamaica. So we're likely to see more of the flooding on the right side, on the central and eastern parishes, more so than in the extreme west, where we would then be on the left of the center of the system. That is basically the presentation at this time, and I'm sure Minister will accommodate some questions right afterwards.
Thank you so much, Evan. Any questions from media in the room? No questions. So I'm going to ask the questions then, since no one has questions. Evan, tonight, what should we expect? Again, just tell them tonight. There are people who are out there. There's still people doing preparatory work. And we want to know, can they continue to do it? When do they need to come in? And again, when will conditions deteriorate so that no one should be on the road?
Okay, thank you for that question. The conditions will gradually be deteriorating this evening. We've already experienced some of that deterioration over southern parishes. Also in the east, we've experienced an increase in cloud cover, an increase in rainfall over the areas, and more intense rainfall taking place. Originally, it would just be some incidents of light rainfall that occur over sections of the country. Now we're seeing more moderate rainfall occurring over sections of the island. We have not come into that large mass that surrounds the eye yet, but that is what is progressing across Jamaica. And so we expect that the intensity will gradually increase as we go through tonight. We'll also be continuing to experience strong winds, tropical storm force winds moving across the country, mainly over southern parishes first, but then moving over to northern parishes as the center moves closer to the coastline. Also, as we go through the night, we also are expecting that we will have hurricane force winds beginning to impact, starting with the southwestern part of the island and then progressing across to central parishes. We're not expecting that the hurricane force winds will actually get all the way to the eastern end of the island, but tropical storm force winds will continue. The hurricane force winds extend only 45 kilometers or 30 miles from the center of the system. So if you're outside of, say, 50 kilometers from that center as it moves, your experience is going to be mostly tropical storm force winds. Don't take it too lightly. That can also produce quite a bit of damage. And the rainfall that's associated with the system will still be very much that you could have flooding in any area of this country. So expect all of that as we go through the night. The hurricane conditions will get, of course, increasingly intense as we get into the morning hours of Tuesday.
Thank you very much, Evan. I don't see any other questions. You've heard it. It's still category 5. Oh, there is one question. Can we get the microphone to someone who never asks questions?
Evening. Mic check. There we go. Evening, everybody. Mahiri Stewart, Nationwide News. In terms of the path that this hurricane is taking, we know what to expect when it impacts Jamaica. But what's Melissa going to do after it passes Jamaica?
Okay, that's a good question. And actually, because we are our brother's keepers and we have a number of neighbors in the Caribbean area that we need to pay attention to and also, keep their interests at heart.
So, Evan. Obi. Still have Obi here? Yeah, man. Obi. Unmute FMA Obi. You've been listening to Evan giving his forecast on the weather. Hold on. Obi, am you like you have?
Yeah, man. Are you like me off, Colin?
Yeah, sorry about that. I thought I hooked the wrong channel. My bad. Yeah, man, you've been listening to Evan. What are your views?
Well, I think pretty much what Evan said just now is a repeat of what we heard from him earlier, apart from the fact that I think he had basically mentioned of what I said early in the piece, that we kind of have a more westerly kind of movement that is moving the system a little bit away from us, although we'll be getting that kind of impact, but because it is more westerly, you know, we will. Don't get me wrong. We will still have an intensity of a cat 5 based on what he's saying, but it seems as if it wouldn't. It will be at the end of moving. So the entire country or certain area of the country may not have been as impactful as it was. So what we should be praying for now, Colin, based on the whole thing, is for us to not get that northerly swing, but for it to continue more along the westerly trajectory.
Yes.
Because the further west it goes, sorry?
Somebody was saying, we're talking about the signs, Obi. Somebody saying that when hurricane come, fowl no go pan tree.
Okay.
Fowl no go, know, fowl normally roost pan tree. They must say when hurricane come, they no go pan tree. So anybody have watched them fall, where on the fall they know, looking at the tree where the fall used to go for go at night time if them in there. If them not in there, then you know say it coming.
I tend to remember that, Colin. I tend to remember that, you know, that fowl always sort of you know, don't go on the roofs when you're having major rainfall, not even hurricane, but whenever there's certain inclement weather, the fowl would basically shy away from the roofs.
Yes.
But there's also something, Colin, that I want to get into apart from the forecast, because you know, let's give the professional their respect and wait the time out and see exactly what happened. But there are some things that we can certainly talk about and we can ask the question on, and you know, because as we go about these things, we're supposed to get better at it. And if we don't ask the question and so on, then certainly they can just fly over and nobody recognize them. Take, for example, this morning, we saw early where a communique was put out by Superwoman, principal of the Padmore Primary School, Keisha. That's Keisha Hales, right?
Yeah.
And her school is one of the schools that is used for shelter. But she said that her school need a shelter rather than to be used as shelter. So yes. So you understand?
The shelter needs a shelter, pun intended.
Indeed. So therefore, we look at that, and you know, is it that the areas that people are saying that, listen, these are shelters? What kind of examination is taken of these shelters to ensure that they are indeed shelters, right? And you know, we also, I think, when was it? Yesterday, we saw a fairly newly minted member of parliament for Western Westmoreland, West. That's Ian Hales. He was out there. He was in the news along with a number of his constituents who were indeed happy, or prepared rather, to go into the shelter. Unlike what the government is saying, that some people are not prepared to go into shelter. But you know what was their problem, Colin? They could not get into the shelter because the people were saying that they're not going to open the shelter until 6:30. While the people were prepared because they were saying that.
A lady called earlier, I was talking about it. I mean, I wonder if it's true. I saw the lady with her suitcase and I'm ready for going to the center.
It is true. It is true. It is absolutely true. I watched as a matter of fact, I was trying to reach him, MP Ian Hales. He was out there, and I must say, Colin, I want to give Ian Hales, others as well, but I really want to give Ian Hales quite a bit of credit. He campaign on the basis that he will be offering proper representation for his people. He will be there every step of the way. And I must say that I've seen where MP Ian Hales have been inserting himself in so many things down there in his constituency so far. I want to commend him for that. We beat them when they're not doing the thing, Colin. So whenever we see something going, we must highlight it and give credit where credit is due. So I want to hail MP Ian Hales this afternoon.
Definitely.
Those are some things, Colin. So those are some things, Colin, that we have to look at. How people are put in shelter. There is another shelter. There's another shelter that I observe. People down there in Otereus. And the mayor came out and he was saying that, listen, it's not about sending food there, because the people were saying that there was no food there. There weren't any sponge, no blankets or anything like that. I think this was at the Otereus High School down there in Ochi. And they were really crying. They were saying that the canteen wasn't open and all of that. Again, I don't want people to say that here goes Conrad criticizing and making any kind of political thing. I am talking on behalf of the people and highlighting these things so that the wholeness-led administration, the government of Jamaica, can address these things, Colin. Because maybe they're not aware.
Well, that's a possibility. That's a possibility. I don't know if you saw us a while ago showing videos of the homeless people in Port Antonio still on the street while we have a brand new shelter that was just, ribbon was cut before the election, but it is still closed.
All that kind of thing, I mean, and that is in which of the constituencies?
That is in Eastern Portland, right here inside of Port Antonio.
Eastern
we were
Portland.
on the road.
So
we did some videos.
So let's speak about the MP there now. That's Isaac Buchanan. And while you highlight that it is closed, what kind of representation have the MP made?
Well, the MP was on a while ago. We had Isaac on the program a while ago, and we had Councillor Dexter Rowland telling us about some of the things that were happening, and that was brought up, and we had a discussion about it. But when you really look at the depth of what should happen at that drop-in center, it is the responsibility of the parish council, and we can't get to the mayor. Because the mayor don't answer we, and him tell me one time, say, him not have to talk to no media.
Well, because because what you answer the question appropriately, Colin. So it is the MP and those councillors, they're on top of their game. So it is really the mayor. And that is who? Thompson, the man that was doing the math?
Yeah, man. And somebody's asking, was the shelter built with public funds? Hold on, Conrad. Somebody's asking if the shelter was built with public funds. Yes, it was built with taxpayers' money. Go ahead, Obi.
So Colin, you're saying that the mayor, because obviously I'm sure that his colleague, Dexter Rowland, and so on, they would have reached out to him, and nothing coming from the mayor?
Well, what Rowland told us is, I think, that they are bedding and stuff inside the building, but they have not employed anybody yet to work there. They are just sending out applications. But I'm saying with us, and that's where I mentioned that we've been planning for this storm from last week, Monday. And if we've been planning so long for this storm, if we had good management at the council, somebody would say, let us put in a skeleton staff to ensure that the people who are on the road, who have nowhere to go, could go to the shelter, who want to go to the shelter, make certain that them have food and protection there, and that shelter should have been in use. No.
Well, Colin, as we speak, and I'm sure that people from among the government and so on, supporters, are listening now. As we speak, I'm looking at my television set, and I'm seeing local government minister Desmond McKenzie. So let's make a public. Let's make a public, before you get to him, Colin, let's make a public plea, a call on the mayor to reach out to the minister, to reach out to the mayor of Port Antonio and to open the shelter, Colin.
Well, let's hear a little bit of what he's saying.
In making contact in the way that we would want the contact to be made. We have a very effective radio telecommunication system, which is manned by the Jamaica Fire Brigade. And that system is up and running. It is a part of the JICA program that the government of Japan and the government of Jamaica has put in and has made us very efficient. And it is a system that the police has tied in, and all the major stakeholders across the country has access to the system. So our shelters are up and running, and I want to say to Jamaicans that I'm encouraging you still, you still have a little window to go into the shelters because it is important. There are also complaints about Ocho-Rios-I. That matter has been dealt with. And I want to thank the many concerned Jamaicans who continue to send me messages about the operations of shelters. And I really want to thank them and say how much it is appreciated. I gave an update this morning on the state of our shelters. And I did indicate that of the 880 odd shelters, so far 133 shelters are in operation. The shelters are available, but so far only 133 of these shelters are fully operated with persons in there. The parishes of St. Anne, Hanover, are still 3 parishes that have no one in any of the shelters. The shelters in Hanover should be seeing people now, because based on Evans' forecast, places like Lucy, Chester Castle, other areas will face challenges. And I want to urge persons in these parishes to get to high ground as quickly as possible. Clarendon continue to lead the way. So far, their numbers are 517, St. Catherine 254, St. Thomas 310, Trelawney 156, Portland 295, St. Elizabeth 182. I guess based on the other information coming in, that we will see an increase in the numbers of Jamaicans going to the shelters. As I said earlier on today, it is anticipated that more than 40 to 50,000 Jamaicans will be evacuated from certain areas, and we are expecting that number to grow. I want to again emphasize the importance of sticking to genuine information. Almost every minute now, there is something out there in social media that has nothing to do with what is taking place. There is concerns that persons who genuinely wants to go to shelters are being convinced by others that it makes no sense that they go to the shelters. And many people have been told that you are safer at home than in our shelters. My first experience of a major hurricane at this level was Matthew in 2016, just shortly after I became the minister. And it was a testing time. Fortunately, Matthew changed course. But over the years, we have developed a system to improve the quality of our shelters. And I will not deny that some of our shelters might not meet the expectations of Jamaicans. I have said it before, the shelters are not a 5-star hotel. 90% of our shelters are schools, which were not really built for that purpose. And over the years, we have converted some of our shelters, some of the schools, into proper shelters. And we'll be rolling out over the next couple of years, starting next year, to improve on our shelters, because we are looking at the changes that are taking place in terms of our climate-related issues. And therefore, as a country, as a government, we have to move.
I thought over here. Is that a public official you're trying to get on the program?
The counselor.
And what happened? He is he's not willing to come on?
Well, he's saying that him not have all the information right now.
Man, him need for come on with one hand, man.
It is the
this is the kind of nastiness that the people are resenting, you know. This is a time of hurricane, a time of disaster. And sorry, Colin, if me I blow up where you do, because my ears are very keen,
yeah, man,
and I have a
your line is open. No other listener could have heard, but your line is open to what I am doing in the studio.
Good.
So let me just tell the people. I just made a call to Councillor Manahan. That's the councillor of the Oak Bay division in West Portland. There is an area in West Portland that I am very familiar with called Swift River. Swift River Oak Bay is a place that have been flooded out many times. The entire community flooded out. And the last time it happened is a couple of years ago. I think PJ was Prime Minister. So it would have been in the either 90s or early 2000. The entire area was flooded out. With the kind of rain that is projected, I am very concerned. And I made a call earlier on the live that we made to Darrell Vaz, who is the MP, to find out what it is that they are doing about Swift River. Well, he told me that the councillor I just spoke told me that they have cleaned some of the critical drains. But if we get the kind of rainfall that we normally get, no matter what drain you clean at Swift River, because what happened, the river is a very large river. And there are some large tributary that runs into it that it block them out when it's fully in spate. Those other tributary can't get to it, so they just cover the whole Swift River area. And if this thing might come in the nighttime, if I had the authority, I would have moved everybody out of the community right now. Nobody would be in that community with the rain that they are forecasting for tonight. But he said that he couldn't talk to me now because he doesn't have all the information, and if we catch him at another time.
No, that's not acceptable. That's not acceptable at all. And that is a reason why the people should vote against him in the next election. I don't know if he's a PNP or a JLP councillor. I don't know who he is. But that is my view. This is a thing where you must be prepared to speak on your feet and so on and things like that. And when these things come, you must step up. And in the same breath, I just want to make mention and indeed commend Minister Mackenzie, because I heard him now just saying that the whole business of the orchard assisted thing was brought to him, other shelter was brought to him, and he's saying thanks a lot for bringing those information to him, because they're taking steps to deal with it. That situation down there that you mentioned at the shelter there, Colin, or the building there for the street people or the homeless and so on, I would be happy for information to get to Desmond, because I think that Desmond would basically move post haste to open that place and find some temporary people to man that facility,
yeah, man,
so our people can benefit from it.
It ought to be. And
it is our damn foolishness, Colin.
Maybe I need to try and get to the mayor. I don't know if he's going to talk to us, but I am going to try and get a call off to the mayor, because I believe that the mayor is front and center of the coordination of the relief and the planning for the shelters. And therefore, I really...
Yeah, he sits on the disaster committee for the parish.
Yeah, man.
Or chair it, rather. It's not so?
He's the chairman of the municipal corporation, so...
And the disaster committee for the parish, I think.
All of them think I think him supposed to sit on. I don't remember if I have a number for him.
Colin, we have to demand proper representation of our people, you know. Because recently, remember that the reason why that was positive for the massive increase, both at MP and council level, Colin, is that we would have people who would provide better level of governance and so on and so forth. Say Christopher Tufton, who shouldn't have a job as minister, see him step up to podium and if you got chat.
A couple of things that re-update. Firstly, I was late because I was on a conference call with the health ministers of the Caribbean region, chaired by the head of CARICOM, who expressed the desire to support, and I gave them an update. And I want to just publicly thank my colleague ministers of health in the Caribbean who have offered to provide support wherever that is needed, including CARFA and CARICOM health ministers. So I got a little delayed because of that conversation. In terms of the updates, health centers remain closed as we had announced, but all hospitals remain open and all are prepared. I have done a number of visits over the past 24 hours or more, visiting some of these institutions, having conversations with the staff, and at the emergency control center in New Kingston, headed by Dr. Dawkins Wright, who is here in the audience. We have had several briefs involving the respective regional health authorities and the hospital heads. And from all that I have seen, we are prepared and ready. There's adequate water storage supplies, adequate food, both for staff and patient, adequate medical supplies, a logistics infrastructure, which involves our own logistics, but also coordination with other agencies like the Fire Brigade and others. And I think generally speaking, there's a staff that is ready and waiting. The message to them is firstly to take care of their family members, ensure that their homes are safe, and then commit themselves to ensuring that over the next number of hours, they will commit fully to serving the Jamaican people from a healthcare perspective. So that is in place. We are concerned about a few hospitals that are on the coastline. So Noel Homes in Hanover, Black River in particular, in St. Elizabeth, because of where the storm will enter the country, and Falmouth, Trelawney. We have evacuation plans for those institutions. So today we started some evacuation efforts out of Black River. Fortunately, we just completed a 12-foot seawall on the coastline between the
I just sent you the communique that was pushed out by Principal Hayes, Keisha Hayes of the Padmore Primary School, so you can look at it.
So we have moved some of the services out of the hospital further inland and have relocated patients from the ground floor to the second floor and hope that that will suffice for any surge that will take place. The other institutions have evacuation arrangements and will exercise that as the case may be. Each of those institutions, of course, have generator backup power that will take them hopefully through the period that may be downtime until power is restored. The staffing for the surge capacity are in place, rosters are in place, doctors, nurses, biomedical engineers, drivers, and porters, all of those are in place to deal with the possibility. Very sad to announce that even though the storm has not yet hit, we've had 3 deaths related to the preparation of the storm. One in Hanover, one in St. Catherine, and the other in St. Elizabeth. And these are due to persons preparing for the storm, unfortunately, cutting down of trees in particular. In one case, a tree fell on one of the individuals. In St. Elizabeth, he was airlifted, and it's a health worker. He was airlifted to the University Hospital and succumbed to his injuries. Another case in Hanover, the same thing. And another case in St. Catherine, in one of the cases, there was an electrocution, as is reported to me, linked to the cutting down of trees. There have been about 13 other injuries linked to preparation, most of which are linked to persons falling off ladders or rooftops trying to prepare for the storm. I just want to use the opportunity to urge Jamaicans, firstly, to express condolences to the family members who have lost loved ones, and the health system will provide support as necessary
You know,
to those
say it, you read,
individuals.
man. You know, hear me a
But
lot.
also urge Jamaicans, we understand the need
Oh,
to prepare,
No, sir.
but we urge
God.
extreme caution in that preparation. If you need help, call for help. But be careful that you protect yourself even in the
Colin,
preparation, because
what
already
about this thing? Because what happened there, I think some of the hospitals they closed down the outpatient aspect of it and only the emergency. So?
yeah. Outpatient, most of that would have been closed because
Mm-hmm.
only emergency you'd be dealing with in this kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
But we keep following the government press conferences to hear what they are putting forward. And of course, they are the authority. So I have some people in the chat room who don't want to hear them, but guess what? They are the authority. So we have to find out what it is that they are putting in place, how the planning is taking place.
Please, toward drinking water.
Yes, it is important. It is important because what happened, you see, information, information is something that is always important. What you do
Yes.
with information is sift through it, analyze it, and recognize what makes sense because it is the said information that I have gleaned, Colin, and yourself, why we're able to not being critical, not necessarily being critical, but to point out to the government to say this is not being done well. For example, we're here, just case in point, we're able to call out the thing down there in Westmoreland. We're able to call out that over there in Portland, your own parish, in St. Anne, in Ocherius, we're able to call out that as well. And overall, across the island, we are able to say that based on the information that we had gleaned, the government was being tardy in the first instance in not looking at ensuring that the drains were clean, and is after a hue and cry from people like newly minted MP Zalika Jess and others, people like Michael Phillips et al., who came out and raised their voice to a crescendo. They were basically handed a measly $3 million to them per constituency. So it's important for us to listen and to get the information so you can be critical. I know that some people really and truly don't want to hear a thing from these guys, especially when you look at Tufton and our television set now, who certainly deserve to be in his house, sit down and his chair and watching what is going on based on the tardy job that he has been doing. But some people say, boy, he is more than a cat because there's a cat have 9 lives and this man look like him have about 99.
What a hard man for dead.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
So
In
it's
ghetto with everything. He's the boss.
yeah, so we look at those things, Colin. But all in all, Colin, as we continue to see the night bearing down on us, and the system here, I'm closer at this time, Colin. I'm closer to the border of St. Catherine and Clarendon, and I must tell you that earlier, just about 10 minutes or so ago, we saw where the rain was coming at a nice little clip, and also the breeze were blowing quite strong, but it has certainly calmed right down now, just looking outside, and certainly the rain has come to a full stop, and the breeze has basically subsided. Barely, the trees are barely moving in the wind. So that's the situation now. Don't know if it's a calm for until later on, but that is what exactly. But that's what's happening here now, Colin. Earlier up to about early in the afternoon. I continue liaised with Mandeville, Manchester,
Yes.
because of course you know my interest there. And indeed, I was told that there was a steady rainfall, and they were expecting some kind of you could say a bit of storm force wind. They said that, you know, quite a bit of trees, limbs were coming down, banana tree were being flattened, and all of those sort of things. That was sometime earlier this afternoon. Well, it actually started from last night and it continued, and they were getting quite a bit of rainfall there in Mandeville.
I have a clip from Westmoreland. Listen this.
Mm-hmm.
See there, everywhere locked down. I don't know if I can see there. Out of Petersfield in High Square, this me there, on the main. Everywhere locked down, but no rain, nothing. Just as a voice wrote me a while ago, I hit that I go on. Just a little bit of drizzle rain and thing. But the place in lockdown though, everybody prepare for it.
All right, so that is my brethren from out Westmoreland. In fact, Troy was in the vehicle with the counselor that met in the accident that the counselor down there died. This brethren here was in the vehicle with him.
Wow. Yeah. I must say, Colin, that earlier this afternoon, they actually, head of television Jamaica, newsroom, Milton Walker. He was, I think it was during the 12 o'clock period to 1 thereabout, and he did a quite extended piece on the television in terms of some coverage roundup, and they basically zeroing on various parts. And I must tell you that they showed Little London, that's down there in Westmoreland, the same vicinity, and he was saying that it was just quite amazing because the area seems quite dry, you know. So what I'm just trying to calibrate what the young man said just now.
Okay. Somebody saying, well, it a pick up in my neighborhood now. Well, everybody make certain on the button up, stay safe if you don't have to be on the road.
Where is that person neighborhood, Colin?
Where is your
Where is the person
Marcia? Marcia, where's your area where it is picking up now? Colin, do you have any word on Michelle Charles handing out food on behalf of the Ministry of Social Security? No, I never heard that before. Obi heard anything like that?
No, so she's in the island. As a matter of fact, I thought she was overseas.
I think
and
so
remember
too.
that is something, Colin, that we will not leave off the radar. We raised the question earlier. Of course, today is not the time for it because we're dealing with the disaster. But I certainly believe that we should press and press and press to get the bona fide as to whether or not Dr. Michelle Charles, sat in the house, collect her salary for 5 years, and did not relinquish her United States citizenship based on allegations that we are hearing. You understand? So I think that is something, Colin, that we need to get a closure on. Would you agree with me?
Sure do. Marcia says she's in Arnett Garden. Colin, he born right there in Swift River. Colin, no. I wasn't born in Swift River. I was born in the Port Antonio Hospital. I grew up in Fruitful Vale, Shrewsbury. But Swift River is one of my stamping ground. And when I left my mother house, Swift River one of the first place where I did live. So I know the dangers of Swift River, and I'm very concerned about the people who living in that area. And was a bit disappointed that the councillor couldn't come on here and basically tell us what are the plans in place. He told me that there are 2 critical drains that he said was clean. So, and he knows the area too because the councillor grew up in that area in Swift River.
Yes.
Yeah, man. So I know the
Colin,
area
boy,
too, but sometimes I wonder, Conrad, if the councillors, the GLP councillors in Portland, they have to get permission before they speak. Because all the time, for the last 8-9 years that they have been the GLP councillors, even Stephen Williams, who used to be in media with me, who I brought into the media landscape. And he wouldn't talk to me while he was a counselor. Since he has left the council, him talk to me on ear. But while being a counselor, them have to get permission. If the big man tell them, say them can't talk, them can't talk. And that's why I've been saying to the people of Portland, how you vote for a counselor who is not a counselor on their own, they can't speak if they don't get permission to speak.
Because here you're now revealing, Colin, and I made my comment because I go down the middle. I made my comment earlier, not knowing whether or not the counselor for the area that you tried to reach was a JLP. So you're now saying, Colin, that that person is a counselor for the Jamaica Labour Party, and you're hazarding a guess that he's unable to speak because it seems as if they operate under the rubric of being given permission by the member of parliament who is Darrell Vaz.
The next thing I'll tell you that this youth is not a dunce. This youth is very articulate and somebody who can handle himself in an interview. So it's not somebody who is afraid of an interview. So
and he's familiar with the he's familiar with the area because as you said, he grew up there.
The man grew up there. And I know somebody who I guess about, me and him represent Portland in athletics. So somebody me know who can angle himself in an interview, who is not afraid of the microphone. But my observation for the last, since 2020 that we have these GLP counselors, none of them have been able to speak without getting permission. And maybe that's why the mayor can't talk neither.
My God. Yeah, because I mean, one would expect, Colin, that you're a first citizen, because I would make the same criticism if you try to if something is brewing in Spanish Town, for example, in St. Catherine, and you try to get, say, Mayor Scott, who is the PNP mayor, and he shy away and don't want to come. May I forgot burn some fire upon him same way?
Obi, I'm going to send a
message.
Like I see, I don't know if him block me. I'm going to send a message to Mr. Vaz. Minister Vaz, good evening. This is Colin Bell from Portland Spice TV. Just have a concern in the weather here, Minister Vaz, about Swift River, a area which I know very well, and a area that has been flooded out more than once. They have had 2 major floods in the past. I am wondering if there are any plans specifically that was put in place for Swift River, and would love to know you could respond to us in a voice note, Minister. Thank you.
Yeah, Colin.
So I sent him a voice note. What I can tell the listeners that it has delivered 2 tickets, and now the ticket them turned blue. So the ticket them turned blue. So based on my information, it says played. And I know that was sent to Minister Vaz. So I am hoping that he would give us a response as it relates to Swift River, an area that I have a lot of concern about with the pending rain.
Maybe what you need to do, Colin, is to open. Maybe what you need to do, Colin, is to open the phone line while you're making the comments that you're making. So that the same way that you open the message that you sent, you will be able to hear the comment that you're making.
Well, it was I sent the message, so let's see if we get a response from the minister. I'm not going to do anything else. It's obvious that I was live while I sent him the message. And I am expecting a response. Once we get the response from him, we are going to play that response because, as I said, I am very concerned about Swift River. I am from Swift River. That whole area got flooded out in 1937, 1941, and I think 2002. As I said, it was flooded out while PJ was Prime Minister. All right, the councillor that I just spoke to, his father was also mayor of Port Antonio and councillor of that very area. So as I said, the man know the area very well.
Also, so he is a politician of some pedigree based on lineage.
Yes, man. His father was mayor.
Okay.
Somebody say, he might watch you. Yes, Colin, you know the elder. Yeah, man. I know the whole of the place. He read when he listened to the message. I am sure that he listened to the message. Because you know you have a way when you send a WhatsApp message, you can check if the person listened to the message. And when I check, it said played.
Absolutely, absolutely. So in the same breath, Colin, while so maybe Minister Vaz just decided to tune in then. So let's remind Minister Vaz that we are trying to get through to him for him to use his good office to ensure that what the center is called, Colin? That center there for the is it a center for
Yes, it's a
the
drop-in
homeless?
center. Drop-in center for the homeless people. I don't know if this is a new thing that I said Evan on the thing again. Hold on,
until
Conrad.
it gets that chance to turn. So it really, the hurricanes generally move in that direction.
I don't know if this is a replay
To the north, and making that
I
recurvature.
can't
But
say.
if
My
there's something
television
blocking
is
it,
on
it will keep
they're on
moving
they're on
west,
they're
but
on
not
a
as
commercial
decisively
break
because
now.
it really.
Oh, so maybe it's
Yeah, I think
maybe the conference is
yeah.
finished. I'm still checking my phone because I would really love a response from Minister Vaz read this issue. I'm not seeing a response. I'm not seeing where he's typing either or saying anything. But I hope that he would grant us a response so that the people of Swift River, we can know what to tell them. I think, Conrad, I think we need to touch base with Doreen, Think we need.
Yes, yes, it would be good for you to, because Doreen herself, she has also, she also asking some questions. I think that's the appropriate thing to do, Colin.
Add her to this. Add her to the WhatsApp call, Obi. We're on WhatsApp, so add her to it. And if anybody want to call 876-804-7072, you can give us a call. We'll take your call as well.
Hold on there.
So, Obi, go and try and add her to this call. Let me add another phone line to the system. System up, Can add another phone line to the system. All right. All right. So we're trying to get Comrade Doreen Campbell on the line. Not able to add her?
Hold on.
Ambassador from Jamaica to the US having a virtual town hall meeting for Hurricane Melissa.
I'm adding her, Colin. I don't guess she's added.
Let me see if she's
Hello?
here. Yes. Miss Doreen Campbell, good evening.
Hi.
Good evening. How are you?
I don't know if
Good
Conrad
evening.
tell you
How
that
you
we are
doing,
live
Doreen?
on Portland Spice TV.
I'm sorry. What did you say?
We are live on Portland Spice TV. My name is Colin Shakafi and Bell, and we have Conrad the Fireman O'Brien.
All right. How are you doing?
Well, we're
Hey,
worried.
hi,
We're worried
Doreen.
about
How are
West
you?
Portland.
You're what?
Worried about Western Portland.
Oh, you're as worried as I am.
Yes, especially about Swift River.
Yes, for right now, I have no communication in Swift River. I haven't been able to get anybody on the phone up there. So I suspect they've lost telephone service in Swift River. But I don't think we need to worry about Swift River too much because most of the residents that would have been in the low-lying area of the Swift River Valley there are based more on the hill. So even though the land comes down to the flat on the road, the houses are not necessarily anymore where they used to be when we had that big flood years ago in 2002.
Okay.
So I think we only have about probably about 4 or 5 residents literally in that vicinity. But most of the houses are on the hill.
Oh, so you're saying that, so those 4 or 5 persons, are you aware if they have moved up onto the hill and not down in the flat for this event?
But they're presently still on the flats. I know I spoke to one resident who said she actually used her personal resources to clear a drain that ran beside her yard. But I also informed her of the possibility of flooding, swift flooding in the Swift River Valley. Um, so they're very much conscious of that, and they have made preparation to move to higher grounds if that was to happen. But as I say, what I can think of is 1, 2, 4, 5, about 5 or 6 persons actually live, 6 families, sorry, that actually live in the valley.
All right, so somebody's
Mm-hmm.
mentioning Chelsea and Bloomfield, but Chelsea and Bloomfield don't normally get flooded out.
No, it's not Chelsea and Bloomfield
The
that
Swift River get
normally,
flooded out. Swift River itself. The river,
it's Swift River itself.
the river
Yes,
named Bantama.
yes,
Mm-hmm. Doreen, Miss Campbell?
yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I happened to get hold of a communique that was forwarded with your voice, and you have some serious concern, about the possibly missing in action of the MP at this time, not being in the space, and just general concern that you share, and you also talk about had it been the election in the offing and so on, it would have been a different story. What can you share with us, and what are the concerns that you are picking up from your residents there in Western Portland?
So the the residents, well, most of the income comes from the farmers. The farmers, um, they plant coffee and they plant crops in between, what they call cash crops. Now, the fact that we have been basically locked down now for a couple of days, no movement, no activities, what it means is that there's some persons who are not able to earn because they can't trade. They can't
Yes.
trade. They can't sell a bunch of bananas, so they can buy a pound of chicken.
Mm-hmm.
So it becomes really, really important and dire that special attention is paid to the majority of the residents here in West Portland because, as I said before, the income is low and they're not able to go out and trade.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point in time, I would expect to see the member of parliament and his councillors, moving around the same way they used to move around before the elections. You
Mm-hmm.
know, there were bags of black standard bags. Uh, they were they were black scandal bags. Yeah, they were black scandal bags. Sorry, I don't know if it's water.
Obi, can you
Um,
mute? Can you mute? You're running some water. Then mute Obi. Obi,
yeah, there
Hello?
were some.
mute your
Yes.
phone. Mute your phone. Mute your phone.
Sorry. Yes. Okay.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
Go ahead.
saying,
there were
Fine.
some
I'm
black
Obi,
sorry. I'm
scandal
sorry. I'm
Obi,
bags.
very sorry.
I'm asking you just to mute your phone so that Doreen can complete.
Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
there used to be some black scandal bags that you could see going around in the green van with groceries inside there going to different persons. I would love to see that same green van loaded now with groceries going to vulnerable persons. The other thing that concerns me is that when I was doing house to house, I realized quite a number of the residents, the houses are zinc roof. So they are made of board and they're zinc roof. So it simply means with a hurricane coming with the kind of gale force winds that is expected, that is expected. It simply means that our residents again are going to need some serious assistance. So that is what I was highlighting.
good.
Obi
Good.
as a
Very,
concern.
very good. Very good, Doreen. Doreen, one of the questions when a lot of persons who happened to, listen to that message that you sent, they said to me, some of them called me personal and said, "Oh, how Doreen is so, committed to the process. She had offered herself and, the people, even with how they were treated, she was not given the nod and so on. So, we know the politics is on, and this is basically just Jamaicans, humanitarian. But Doreen, why you continue to be there front and center even at this time for your people, or for the people of Western Portland?
I believe we have to be, as politicians, we have to be genuine, we have to have a heart of service. For me, it's not just about going to parliament. My interest in going to parliament was to create a change in the constituency of West Portland. Because for the past 18 years, we have a powerful MP, but there's been no major change in the financial
Status.
status of our residents. So my interest in the constituency had a lot to do with what you'd call rural area development. This constituency has potential, and the people need somebody to be there for them, to represent them. And yes, roughly about 5,000 persons came out and supported the People's National Party, by extension me. And they still expect that I will stand up for them. They don't expect to go out there, vote for me, and because I was not victorious, I turn my back, kick my heels, and walk away. It simply means, if I had done that, it simply means that it was not about service, it was more about self. And I am committed to the process. I'm committed for the long haul. I would have rather to have been speaking to you right now from as a member of parliament, because I know I would have done a way better job in preparing this constituency for this hurricane that is expected by tomorrow. But the gods who is in charge did not see it fit, and I remain in opposition. But it doesn't stop me from continuing to serve the people of Western Portland.
Colin, I don't know if you have anything more to Doreen now, or I can ask her another question.
Go right ahead, Obi. I'm trying to get a communication to the mayor of Port Antonio.
Okay. No, Doreen, from where you sit, you know the constituency well. You represent the people there. You have your residents there. What would you say is the most pressing situation for your people now, even at the 9th or the 11th hour?
I think it's more building material. For those of us who can afford plyboard to cover up our windows and our doors, most of the people can't. And therefore, food and protection for property, I think, is the number one concern. We've been without water for quite some time in Buff Bay. It came back. So persons are able to fill up and, prepare for the storm. But I believe right now it is mainly food. People have to be able to feed themselves. There are persons in shelters right now, in the constituency, in the different schools. And to my disappointment, they were told to bring their own food. So not even no food is being provided in any way to those that is in the shelters. And I just feel like, how can we be so neglectful? How can we not have a heart of service? The government actually allocated $3 million for drain cleaning and $1.5 million.
Sorry, Doreen. The Minister of Information, who has been leading the communique with the press conferences, certainly I saw her today at least 2 or 3. And she have been saying that, listen, food or at the shelters, there should be no worry about food and so on. And you're saying that based on your information, your best information, the shelters in certainly in Western Port and are out of food, no food there?
I am not I'm not assuming. I know as a fact that no food up to this morning, and the mayor himself had released that information that persons are to take their food when they're going to the shelter.
And we also heard from a resident down there in Ocherius as well that they had no food at the shelter at the Ocherius High School. Doreen?
Yes.
Yes. I
There's
was
a lot
saying
of
that we
noise.
also heard from residents down there in Ocherius at the Ocherius High School shelter that there was no food there provided there.
Absolutely. So I know as a fact there's no food here. And as I said, if persons are not able to go out and hustle these past couple of days, they don't have money stored up. We don't even have a bank in Buff Bay. So people can't even go back and draw money. Right? People just don't have money. West Portland is one of the poorest constituencies in Jamaica. They chose to re-elect the sitting
A
MP.
billionaire.
I don't know what is it that they got that caused them to go back out.
Miss Campbell, Natalie, the producer Natalie Wright told us earlier that we are expecting people to carry food to the shelter, but the people don't have no food in their house.
That's the point I just made. They don't have food. So we're saying to them, take food. But I'm saying to them, most of the people, they earn daily for the meal the next day.
Yes.
And if we have been locked down from how many days now, going into Tuesday, they're not able to earn. They're not able to sell a banana to buy a pound of chicken. They're not able to kill a chicken to buy a bunch of banana. So therefore, if we have a member of parliament that is a multi-millionaire, he don't need to be waiting on the $1.5 million from the government to provide care packages. He can take another $5 million out in bank account or out of the I mean, they make money out. I'm sure they made money out of the school bus the other day. They can find money and make this constituency a better place. I just want to see, this is not about politics. Let me not even talk about the MP. This is not about politics. This is humanitarian needs. The people need help. They need help.
But Doreen, it is important while not talking the raw politics, but it is important to highlight these things, and this is what a number of people who sit lofty in their home and can basically open their 2-door, 3-door, or 4-door for refrigerator, and everything is stocked in there, or they go into the pantry and everything is in there. They don't understand what you're talking about, Doreen. That's so many, and this is not just West Portland. It's what represent across the length and breadth of Jamaica, where so many of our people are just surviving, not on a weekly basis, but on a day-to-day basis. That's what is happening here in Jamaica. I heard one of the reporter on CNN, I think it was on CNN this afternoon, he said that one of the reasons why a lot of people don't even want to move to go into the shelter is because they are living and there's so much poverty and so on, and they're even afraid to leave what they have, the little that they have. So that is what the international outfit was beaming this evening, that there was so much poverty here in Jamaica.
But that is one of the things that why the producer said that, because the producer is saying that there are people who have them things at them yard and say them left furniture and them thing there. So the people them will leave and I got the shelter really don't have anything and don't have no food to carry.
And therefore, how can you have? I don't care what the other constituencies do. How can you have a multi-millionaire as a member of parliament in West Portland and we don't see a flood of food? I mean, packages like people should be going to the shelter, willing to go to the shelter. because their MP is ensuring at least for the next 5 days they can eat some food.
How many shelters are open or are presently open in your constituency?
I can't say how many. I can't say how many is open. What I can say is that all the ones that where the schools are, as far as I know, when I checked, they are open, and they have been open too. Not that they're just opening this evening. They have been open because I know the Buffy one, Hartill, they have been open.
And no,
And you know,
what
I tell you,
about
I tell you something, you know, Shaka
And the
Doreen.
kitchen, and by the way, the kitchen is locked. The kitchen is locked.
The kitchen for the schools are that they are.
Oh, they're locked.
The kitchens
Yes.
are locked. What about bedding? How they
Yes.
stay with bedding?
Yes, they have mats.
They have mats.
And I gather from one of the shelter managers in Buff Bay, all they got was 10 blankets.
But no food.
No food.
But as you said earlier, Doreen, that the message from the mayor, I think I've heard a message that said to people that if you're going to the shelter, carry food. So the message was really out that they should carry food.
Yes, they should carry food.
But if they don't have no food.
And I, as I said, I checked myself, and there's absolutely no food at the shelter.
What about this view that some of the people who are going to the shelter are going there with the intention to get food because, as the producer said earlier, they don't have no food at the yard?
I'm sorry, I'm getting a feedback. What you said?
Mute your mic, please. Yeah, that some of the people who are going to the shelter are going there with an intention to get food because they don't really have none either.
I find that a very disrespectful statement for anybody to say. Nobody wants to go begging food. Nobody in their right mind wants to go to the shelter because they want to go for food. Persons are, especially in West Portland, they're prideful. Very proud people, I should say. Very proud people. They don't want to beg unless they have to. So when somebody goes to the shelter, they in fact go to the shelter out of fear that where they live will not be able to stand up
but what
to
about
the winds.
But you made a point earlier, Doreen, that people living from day to day. And if they can't go out from last week, Monday, because it's from last week, Monday we are planning for this time, you know. They can't go out, go sell a banana, or they can't go out, go sell 2 chicken to buy a banana. Then if they don't have no food at them home, don't you think that some of them would be going to the shelter because this should be a place of refuge?
The shelter should be a place of refuge. But once they are told, as we were all told on national news, that there is no food there, I don't see them going there because of food.
Obi?
But if food was there, they would definitely go there because people would go there. People would go there because there's a lot of people.
Hold on, Obi. Let Doreen finish. Finish, Doreen.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people who don't have food. So if food is there, they will go there. And they should go there. But they can't go there because there's no food there. I spoke to one of the shelter managers. She told me that she take money out of her pocket and buy some canned beef and something to make some food for the people. But how long can she do that?
Come in, Obi.
Yes, I think what happened is that this message should reverberate like a crescendo in the ear of the government, and they should now basically send their operatives to all the shelters across the length and breadth of Jamaica to find out the situation as it relates to food, because I am corroborating what you're saying, Doreen, with what we heard out of St. Anne, certainly at the Ocherius High School shelter, where the people were saying that there's no blanket. As a matter of fact, you said that there's blanket there. They were saying that there were no blanket, there were no sponge or cot, whatever it's called, for them to rest themselves on, and also no food. And they also reported, as you're saying, that the canteen at the school was locked. So the gentleman said there was a lady there who just wanted a little hot water. He said himself that he wanted some hot water too because he had a noodle or so that he wants some hot water to pour and so he could get something warm. And but the canteen is locked. And no provision. All these things should have been ironed out. And there's somebody put there to man the kitchen or monitor it because you don't want it to be a free for all and for it to be abused. But these are things that you do in the planning stage because it's people you are dealing with, people are going there, not because they are from the what we would describe as the majority of the people who are going to these places are described from the lowest level of the economic pyramid of society. Come on, man. We have to have a little more heart. Too many people want power, but they're not interested in truly representing the people, Colin and Doreen. That's a fact.
I'll tell you something. We talk and we talk, but it seems to be falling on deaf ears, and then sometimes I have to ask the people.
We lost Doreen. She just drop off of the call. And Hobie drop off as well. So
We need to stop fooling ourselves. We need to stop fooling ourselves and say that people don't go to the shelter for food and whatever. But the truth is, I remember in 2004, it was Hurricane Ivan. And I live across the road from the Draper School. And because I was on site the day when the disaster person came to the site, they saw me because I would go out on the road and look and see what is happening. And they did not have a shelter manager at the time. So they asked me to act as the shelter manager for that storm. And by the time they came and they find out what the people want, what was there, how many people were there, the next trip we got toiletries,
no,
we got food
this
stuff,
call is not on the line. Continue.
we got food stuff, we got everything. Next thing, a lot of people come to me. Some of them don't even have news. Them only see rainfall, them know say hurricane. You know food supposed to the other place. You want to say you're going to stay down because you're going to say you're not begging?
Some people are going to go there for food. We have a call on the line. Caller, good evening. Hello? Caller, good evening. Hello, good evening. We have a call on the line, but I'm not hearing. Hold on, my bad. Caller, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Carl. Are you hearing me?
Loud and clear.
All right. I'm saying, right? Evan is saying that the thing going drop further down west. But I'm in Arnett Gardens, and from morning it was like a steady drizzle, and now it has picked up intensity with the rain and the breeze. So, I don't know, I'm watching now from morning it's like not never did two are gone. So look at Melissa ready to start our set. I don't know. But listen, Colin,
Yeah.
what I want to know is, odd Pem, right? Does that this prime minister has taken on so many ministries under his belt because he has to be the face. He has to be the face of everything, right? And it's like not now run right because even with the shelters, right? From last week, this time I plan for the shelter should have that hullabaloo in a parliament when the opposition wanted to flesh things out. if there wasn't so much arrogance, maybe all of this would have sit down and have a powwow and say, this is the things that need to put in place. Because the shelters should have been, you start set up the things them that even like you say, have a skeleton staff places that are not fully operational. Yeah, you have even little care packages for the most because the most vulnerable people are gonna go a shelter and and stuff. So when the people them reach, you have a basic little care package with little toiletries, little thing, little this, little that for them. Oh, I mean, how it look now. And then furniture has doing the pan, the media pan Fox thing, the minister of whatnot, and big up your sister and not now go on. And it and the thing, no, right? Me not understand.
You see,
So the prime minister.
that is the thing. You see, when you love the choir, when you love sing to the choir, and you don't love no dissenting voice, you make these kind of mistakes. Sometimes we need to hear dissenting voice and not just the choir to get a full understanding of what should happen, where we are ready, where we are not,
And I'm saying, the prime minister, him not feel overwhelmed. Him have all these things underneath him belt. I like, so him have him finger in so much pot, so much pie. Him not believe in designating in designating responsibilities to anybody. Him that the face of odd fem I take question. You so one back in the day, now some what odd fem no should have fall under maybe like security not national security.
Odd PEM coming under the Prime Minister's office is not a problem. Our local government, because they are the ones who deal with these emergency. And we have to remember that when it comes to emergency, you have to cut out the red tape.
All right.
Obi, you there?
Yeah, but him not do it. But him not. A good job is not being done, Colin. Somebody fall on the job somewhere. Because, like you said, I'm listening to you. The shelters should have been, you should have been on top. That know that the thing, supposed to be operational. You should not be having this many glitches. You understand me? With people hungry, no food, no day, and all of that. Because people hungry, like the lady said, they're not going to a shelter and them hungry. Them rather take them chance out on the road. But anyway, I'm here listening. And like I say, Melissa has kicked up her ears and I on it guard my day. And the breeze and the rain are fall. So I'm here listening.
Thank you. Obi.
Yeah.
Obi.
Yeah, man, you hearing me, Colin?
Loud and clear. And I think we have Miss Campbell on this line as well. Miss Campbell?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, so we're back.
Yeah, man. Here up the jungle is Murray, one of my favorite callers. Basically.
All right, hold on for me, Obi. Hold on for me. Because Natalie, the people, them said them there a while ago. Let's do this again.
All right, so I'm saying that in 2004, in Hurricane Ivan, I live across the road from Draper School, and Draper School is a shelter. And I remember when the person from the disaster preparedness came to visit, there wasn't a center manager in place, so they asked me to act as the center manager. And the next trip, corned beef, tin mackerel, flour, rice, toiletries, everything come. And people know that when you go to a shelter, food is there. So when people, the woman, they couldn't get to go out from last week or 3 days ago, they are going for the food. Me not ask. You might have some where maybe not go because of pride, but I can tell you, there are people out there that they are going for the food.
So food must be at the shelter.
Or maybe what we should say, to make it a little bit more political, maybe what we should say is that people go into these shelters expected that there would be food there. Because if you are left your yard and you go somewhere, then you expect food. But Colin, I want to just bring you up to date on something that is happening in your neck of the woods that you're probably not aware of. A gentleman was just on television Jamaica in the news reporting. It seems as if he's small restaurant or business person right there in Port Antonio, where right in the heart of the hurricane, they had gone inside his business place, cleared out his refrigerator, take out everything. He said he had reported it to the police. The police have not turned up to this minute and so on, and he's there crying.
Where in Port Antonio is that?
It's he said it's Port Antonio. I did not get the exact place, but I saw Log. Log was there reporting,
Yeah.
and I think the gentleman is really crying, saying that listen, he doesn't know what is going to happen because he has his issues at his home, and now his business and so small business have been totally totally ravaged by way of criminal taking out everything there. So that's the lay of the land right now.
Wow. Doreen?
You know, my heart goes out to that proprietor. My heart goes out to that proprietor, but it's exactly the point I was making. We cannot have people become so desperate for food. The oldest trick in the political book is to keep the people poor so that they will come to you for food. And when you feed them, they look upon to you as Lord and Master.
Mm-hmm.
We have to change. And the question I wanted to ask before when I got cut off, why does the people keep doing this to themselves? Why do they do this to themselves all the time?
Somebody saying it's a bar and a restaurant. Tell me, Gilly, tell me which partner. I'm trying to get to know where that happened a while ago to see if I can touch base with anybody. But Doreen, Bob Marley tells you, the song say we see them fighting for power, but they know not the hour. So they come bribing with their guns, spare parts, and money, trying to belittle our integrity. They say that what we know is just what they teach us. But we are so ignorant that every time they try to reach us through political strategy, they keep the people hungry. And when your brother want to get some food, your sister, your mother, your father got to be your enemy. The song named Ambush in the Night.
Remember, Colin, Sister Doreen, just before you come back in, let me just strengthen what Colin said a while ago. Remember, we were young folks. We were some of us were quite young at the reaching up to the 1980 election in the 70s, and that was the playbook that was used. The people were basically starved in order to basically get rid of the Michael Manley administration.
Food was used.
So it's no different. Women were basically asked to buy sanitary napkins in order to get a pound of rice, a pound of flour, and so on, because at that time women have many children. In my own home, my parents had 11 of us, right? So you find that is the 2 pound of flour and the 2 pound of rice and things like that. That could have stretched more than the 1 pound of yam.
That was a time when food was weaponized.
Indeed.
Yeah,
Indeed.
yeah.
And the playbook, as Doreen said, it's still in vogue. It is still in vogue.
Yeah, man.
My God.
Doreen, anything else you want to tell us about what is going on in Western Portland right now?
Well, I can tell you right now, I have heavy rain right now, heavy rain and wind blowing across this constituency right now. And I know, come tomorrow, there's going to be a lot of weeping and wailing because most of the homes cannot stand up to this wind. Most of them can't stand up. I just praying, and my heart is heavy, because I desperately wanted to make a difference in this constituency. I desperately wanted to make a difference.
Never mind, Doreen. It will happen. It will happen.
The people really and truly needed. They needed my help. It's just unfortunate that they're so hungry. They keep them so hungry and so poor that $2,000 and $1,500 can end up make somebody go to the poll and vote against you.
Or stay home.
But what I hope and pray is that there will be a change, a constitutional change, to allow once somebody is nominated as the caretaker, as a representative for the opposition party, that a certain amount of funds is allocated to them as well. Because as it is now, you cannot continue to have where the government remains in office, election is called, and they're still able to spend the government resources, not a dollar from their own personal pocket. They're able to spend government resources to re-elect themselves. So there has to be constitutional change to the electoral system in Jamaica.
You're referring to campaign financing, which is something that is on the agenda for the longest while, but certainly not getting the kind of discussion and the kind of traction. I agree with you, Doreen, that is something that really needs to be kicked up the value chain, and the discussion needs to happen in earnest.
It must. If not, you will find that criminals will continue to enter our parliament because they're able to raise more money than the person who is not a criminal.
Mm-hmm.
So something has to change, and it has to take place from within the parliament. And I hope the fact that we now have 28 to 35. Oh my God, I don't know if you guys in Port Antonio, Colin, is feeling what we're feeling in the western side, boys. What wind and
is there any
rain.
rain outside? I don't think we even have any rain outside. Is it raining outside?
Well, where I'm at now, Colin, it's actually raining here. It come down with a heavy pour, but what happened? It's up and down here. It's up and down, but certainly it has been raining.
When you're in the studio, you can't hear if it's raining outside, but I am looking at the surveillance cameras now, and I am not seeing any rain on the outside here in Port Antonio. I am not seeing.
Wow, consider you guys blessed.
There's no rain where we are.
Yes.
But there's rain in Port Antonio, in the town, right now.
Rain is in the town of Port Antonio. But where we are located, as I said, I'm looking on the surveillance cameras outside. And if it's raining outside, you would see it. I see a little wind. I see the trees moving. Not so rapidly either. But we're not seeing any rain on the outside where the studio is located in Port Antonio.
But I was shocked.
Well, we're having a storm in West Portland.
You're having a storm down here?
We're in the Buffet area. There is a storm right now. Heavy torrential rain and wind taking place right now in Buffet.
So
if I would be quiet, you should be able to hear it.
Mm-hmm. So Doreen, you may not have seen Darrell. So you're saying that nobody not tell you say him come inside of the place and take care of people, then him just did their profile and say I give up this?
What I can say to you is that 5 years prior him never come. So what's surprising? 5 years to the election, he wasn't in the constituency.
Oh God.
So it's nothing new.
Oh boy. My people.
I tell you, I don't waste time talking about him,
Mm-hmm.
Because they chose to re-elect him. It simply means that they're comfortable with with how he operates.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't think they're comfortable in it. Come back down to the same thing that you outlined. I don't think they're comfortable in it, Doreen. It come back down to the same thing that you have just outlined. That what they do, and the people really and truly have to take some pride in themselves. That they and repel that. Keep them hungry and destitute, desperate for 4 years and 11 months. And then the last month, going into the 5 year, you come and you flood the place with whatever amount of thousands of dollars, and you have it made. And start wear armband from him wrist up to his elbow. My God, and woman go die there here in all sorts of color. It's a damn shame.
We're getting news that it's raining and breeze in Portmore, and Somebody else is saying it's raining in Mandeville, Manchester. I can see it on my camera.
Yeah, man, it is indeed, because I'm in touch with Mandeville like every half an hour, and I can tell you it's raining there, and it's raining heavily, and they have breeze accompanying the rain as well.
All right, so let me thank you both for the time this evening. We'll keep in touch. Everybody, please stay safe. Doreen, don't bother go out on the road, I know. Stay safe, everybody.
All right, one love.
Bless up.
Dora, I'll be in touch with you, Doreen. Cool.
Bless
All
up,
right,
Conrad.
thanks.
Give thanks.
Yeah, man, every time. Bless you. All right.
My viewers and listeners, I want to thank all of you. Rain in St. Thomas. I just spoke with my mother in Portmore. She say a little rain. Well, may I beg you to please stay safe. We'll be in touch right here on Portland Spice. Madam Producer, anything you want to say before we go?
Just want to tell the listeners and the viewers to stay safe.
Everybody stay safe. And if you don't have to go out on the road, don't go out on the road. Those of you in the diaspora who are not in Jamaica, keep praying for us. And may the good Lord continue to bless you all and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his light and give you his peace. Thanks to Councillor Dexter Rowland, we talked to him earlier. Thanks to MP Isaac Buchanan, we talked to him earlier as well. We keep it locked right here at Portland Spice TV. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the channel, click the notification bell. That is critical, that whenever we are on, you are on. Portland Spice TV, we want to be what you want to see.